girl doctor relationship coach who's trying to throw cold water on the whole damn thing. This is what's matter with modern day chicks, man. I mean, wait to hear about that. This is to me is unbelievable. I went to a marriage counselor once who was, the guy. Anyway, I mean, these people are freaking nuts. I mean, they're just, they must hate themselves. These self-loathing, just naysayers. God, no wonder women are screwed up. We're going to hear from, I'm not, I'll be telling you about it. We don't have her sound, of this chick relationship coach. Wait do you hear this? Because Taylor's got a big, strong guy, wants to take care of her. My God. All right, 310. Oh, wow. Where do we go now? I mentioned yesterday that I forgot. I left home my history and birthday list that I bring, that I do spend lots of time on every night, and so I brought it today. And now I'm going to give you an occasional history from yesterday. 1898. Remember the Maine? Yesterday was on yesterday's date. The USS Maine exploded and sank in Havana Harbor. Cause an unofficial mystery. More than 250 crewmen were killed, and this became a whole thing. Remember the Maine?
Yesterday.
That was yesterday. Right.
No, you screwed up. You forgot the thing. You have to wait till next year to do it.
And in fact, I have sports history from yesterday, Pete Davis. And in 1940, I beg your pardon, 1946, Edith Houghton, at age 33, signed a contract with the Philadelphia Phillies to become the first female scout in Major League Baseball in 1946.
Who cares?
Well, we don't want to, sidetrack the people that deserve attention, and we give
you just put the work in it, and you don't want to waste that work you put in.
Well,
yesterday.
And one more thing before we take a little kabanga here. We'll play President Stupid Face here in a second. Substack has done it again, and nobody's covering this. This is just outrageous. The Russians did not fear Hillary was going to win, so they tried to help Donald Trump win. It's exactly the opposite. CIA analysts have now revealed, and these reporters who do the Substack thing, the same guys who outed for the whistleblowers and the Hunter Biden laptop and the meetings with the business people in China, all that stuff, these same guys on Substack have got the second scandal of the CIA when James Clapper, with the director of national intelligence, and CIA director Brennan faked the intelligence community assessments so that they believed they wanted Russia to actually help Hillary. And they fixated Donald Trump in the minds of millions of Americans as some kind of Manchurian candidate, and it was exactly the opposite. And they set it up using fake intelligence. I mean, it's the 1-2 punch, using foreign countries to fake dossiers against Americans to spy on them, and then faking evidence so the CIA could. Oh my God! I mean, this is unbelievable, and nobody's covering it. It was on Jesse Waters last night and us, and that's it. You're kind. I mean, my God, under Putty-Tat, Barack Hussein Putty-Tat, CIA and national security people. Oh, my God. 313. Okay, so let it rip Friday. Let's have fun. 404-741-1230. And we got Flounders Funnies and Neil Boortz at 4 o'clock. And what's the matter? A phone call? You want to do that right now? Excellent.
Sure, why not?
Let's see. Is that Brandon?
Yes, it is.
Brandon, you're on the radio. Happy Friday, man. What's going on?
Hey, happy Friday to you, sir. You're a great man. The last time I was on the phone, if you don't remember,
I do.
You got mad at me when I said that you were told to be president. And hey, it's okay. But you know what?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
The point being with I've dismissed DC. I think you understand they are just gone rogue,
yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
I would love for you guys and the morning guys talk about it, but I would love for you guys to really bring on some local legislators to talk about how we can actually make Georgia a haven for freedom.
Yeah, let me go ahead and stick my finger down my throat while I'm thinking of it. That would be, they say, well, we're here and we're going to make sure that from now on people have the right to be able to. I don't trust anybody in Georgia politics. I don't trust anybody. How come we don't have our governor saying, okay, get rid of Fani, it's over. This woman can't be part of the prosecution team. Nobody's saying anything. Anyway, Brandon, I got to go. Nobody's going to do anything about that here locally. It's not going to happen. Too many freaking liberals here and too many lazy, fake Republicans who don't want to go to the poll. I'm not voting for that Herschel Walker. So we get what we deserve, 2 liberal senators. I don't see that changing. Anybody, do you feel any outrage in the state of Georgia over what's going on right now? Anywhere? except on this radio station. There you are, 314. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. Quarter after, actually.
Hey, it's Lowe's for Exmark and Howard Brothers. Believe it or not, spring is right around the corner, and the folks at Howard Brothers are gearing up for it. If you need a mower in 2024, Howard Brothers and Exmark have it for you. Exmark mowers aren't just for green industry pros. There's an Exmark for all of us. The Quest, Radius, Laser, zero-turn mowers that will ensure that your yard work isn't hard work. Learn more at howardbrothers.com/Exmark. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Exmark and Howard Brothers.
Millions of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 4 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffer from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. There are lots of competitors that don't have the credentials that I have. When you go to other clinics, you're not going to see a board-certified physician with the experience that I have. When you come to our clinic, you're going to see me. There's just not one therapy that can solve these complex issues. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. Total Body Therapy of Georgia, 404-777-1911, 404-777-1911, online at stopmyed.com.
You shouldn't need a degree in finance to choose a checking account. That's why we made Truist One Checking. No trade-offs, no compromise, no hassle. Just the stuff you want from a bank that cares. And that means no overdraft fees, lots of practical perks, and automatic upgrades. Truist One Checking. One simple choice. Visit truist.com/one. Truist.com/ONE. Truist Bank, member FDIC.
Witness the new era of Georgia Tech men's basketball under the guidance of their new head coach, NBA great Damon Stoudemire. Coach Stoudemire has brought the excitement back to the Thriller Dome, and you can be a part of it. Don't miss the next home game presented by PNC Bank when Syracuse visits McCamish Pavilion on Saturday, February 17th at 5:30 p.m. Great seats are still available for purchase, and you can get more information at RamblinWreck.com. Hurry up and grab your tickets to experience the thrill and excitement of Georgia Tech basketball. Sting 'em.
It's easy to see. We're being conned by the institutions we used to trust. The mainstream media is distracting us with meaningless headlines instead of focusing on the harsh realities facing American families. We all know something big is coming, and that's why so many folks are preparing. They're becoming more self-reliant by investing in emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply is the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, and they make it easy for you to prepare. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and secure some emergency food kits. There's a dozen to choose from that contain tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. My Patriot Supply also sells large solar generators, gravity-powered water filtration systems, heirloom seeds for your garden, and survival gear. Order by 3 p.m. and your items will ship that same day. Time is short. Prepare today. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
News. 319, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Guess what? The judge in the New York Trump case, civil fraud case, has made his decision. And Judge Engoron, the nutbag, has decided that former President Donald Trump broke the law in a civil fraud case, along with his company, Letitia James, the racist, hate-filled Attorney General of New York, accused Trump and the organization of using fake business practices for the loan and to pay off Stormy Daniels. I think that was the whole thing where it actually started. She had sought $370 million fine plus 9% interest in penalties. Judge Engoron ordered Trump and businesses to pay $350 million in the case. She wanted more. Trump said it was all a witch hunt. There was never option for a jury trial. Let's see. If him denied, Trump and his thing, got to bring down. Well, what else did you do, you idiot? It's something about Don Jr., and I am trying to find it. There's no evidence. James' office requested Trump and his team pointed to incompetence. Oregon, these freaking people. I hate newspaper reporter people. They don't know how to write a freaking story. They do a tease line, and then you have to go like 18 paragraphs to try to find what the hell they're talking about. In the headline, I saw in the headline, apparently Don Jr. has been prevented from getting loans for 2 years, and Donald Trump can't apply for loans for 3 years or something. But that's not it anyway. So anyway, the judge ruled against him. And by the way, let me ask you this. All right, in front of me, I am holding my phone, and on my phone I have the Fox News app. On the Fox News app, it says 6 minutes ago, Judge Engoron hands down decision Trump New York civil fraud case. On my iPad, the story has not showed up yet. On the Fox News app on my iPad. How is it possible that for 10 minutes I've had the story on my phone, same app, and it's not on my iPad? And I've been refreshing it like off and on constantly. I did it again just now. It's nothing. I don't know why. Anyway, the judge ruled against Trump. It's going to cost him a bundle. Violated the law. And then it says here, Engoron ordered Trump and businesses to pay over $350 million. What a crock. It was in this case where they claimed he overinflated his value so he could get a loan from the bank. He paid back the loan. The bank didn't have a complaint. They gave him the money and he paid it back. And so they're complaining that he cheated because even though nobody got hurt and nothing ever happened, he still broke the law. And the judge said, oh, absolutely. $350 million? Please. Why is he even associated with New York? If I were Donald Trump, I'd be gone from there with every possible. I would lock down every freaking building and just let them rot. And just, honest to God, no. Oh, God, you know what I would do? Open every Trump Tower to the homeless. Oh, my God. I'd say free housing. Oh, my God, what a great idea. If I were Donald Trump, I swear to God, every building he owns would now be a homeless shelter. Oh, my God, how funny would that be? Oh, my God, what do you suppose would happen if Donald Trump turned every property in New York he had into an AIDS clinic and a homeless shelter and a tranny recovery operation rehab center or something? Oh my God! All your trannies come to Trump properties.
Sanctuary spaces.
Yeah, there you go. Trump's haven for the weak and unclean.
Sanctuary.
Turn it into a freaking Bhopal, India. Oh my God. I mean, seriously, how funny would that be? Oh my God, 322. All right, Flounder, let's do it. Let's start from the beginning. I'm sorry. Now, Flounder's our musical director, and he's gone to the trouble of picking out these songs and things about them. So let's do it. Leslie Gore. There you go, baby. This was not my favorite song of hers, but it was probably her biggest song by a mile. And Leslie Gore, on this day in 2015, Leslie Gore, who's known not only as a singer and songwriter, but as an actress and activist. Leslie Gore died from lung cancer. She was 68 years old, 2015. Best known for the 63 recording #1 single, It's My Party, produced by Quincy Jones. Gore composed songs for the soundtrack of the 1980 movie Fame, for which she received an Academy Award nomination for Out Here on My Own, written by her brother with her. Leslie Gore passed away age 68 in 2015. Her other song, I can't remember what the heck they were. What? You Don't Own Me. I love that one. You Don't Own Me. That was a great song, kind of a liberating kind of a song. And there was one more, too, about it was like her boyfriend's cheating on her, but she didn't care. I can't. What the hell the name of that song? Something like that. I can't get over. Maybe I might be thinking of Skeeter Davis. Anyway, Leslie Gore, nothing with the thing. Okay, birthdays include. Oh, just my laptop went. Birthdays include William Catt. You may not know the name or recognize if you saw the face. You would. 73 years old. William Catt was the greatest American hero.
Yeah.
A TV star, also in 2 classic horror movies, Carrie. Oh, I got to remember that in 1976, and House in 1986. I don't know anything about that one. William Catt, 73 years old, American hero guy. Excuse me. And on this day in history, 1937, Dr. Wallace H. Carruthers, a research scientist at DuPont, received a patent for his process that would lead to his style-changing invention, nylon. He took his own life 2 months later. He was suffering from depression. 1937, Dr. Wallace Crothers discovered that nylon. Okay, nope. Now, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, how you doing? 325-404-741-1230. 741-1230. And Donald Trump, again, found guilty and fined $350 million. And I think he and his son both told they can't get loans in New York. I'm reading a headline, getting loans from New York banks for 3 years for Donald Trump, and I think 2 years for Don Jr. And he can't hold executive office at his New York company. What a honest to God. I mean, he should just thumb his nose and say, that's it. Screw you. And the Attorney General, man, I would make her, if I was a billionaire, I would spend $1 billion making her life miserable in every possible way. I mean, not illegally, maybe. Hell, I can say illegal. I'm a freaking talk show host. Nothing I'm going to do about it. But honestly, if I were a billionaire, I would ruin her. I would make sure, I would wish she would wake up saying, I wish I were dead. I wish you were dead. I mean, just make her life miserable.
Okay, you sound like the chick in Fargo. She said, what's the use of being a billionaire if I can't have someone killed?
That's right. Well, I mean, seriously, can you honestly? If Donald Trump opened up all his buildings to the homeless and AIDS patients and trannies, oh my God. I mean, seeking you're tired, you're poor, you're transsexuals. Oh my God. He'd welcome all the mental patients from Cuba. Bring them in. Yeah, we'll take them all. Put them right here in New York. Oh, my God. Can you imagine? Oh, God. Oh, mercy. Anyway, all right. So I'm sorry. 326. Honestly, I wish he would threaten it. I wish he'd come out and threaten it. Just to see what people would say. How would you like it? Can you imagine the news comments? Donald Trump here. I got a great idea. How would you like it?
Would you believe?
Oh, mercy. Anyway, unfortunately, the Fulton County floozy Black Mamba did not show up in court today for the second day. She was going to testify again today, and I wonder who called her and said no. She was supposed to go back on the stand today. The Fani Floozy from Fulton County, Black Mama, and somebody must have gotten to her because this has got to be the worst day of her life. Yesterday, we found out a bunch of things that Black Mamba likes Grey Goose. And again, this is the same woman who said she would never misuse official funds to her office, and she would never have sex with a coworker. And then I love the cash thing. I mean, well, no, in fact, do we have the daddy there, Flounder? Let's play daddy. There's a couple of cuts of daddy on the stand today. The former Black Panther, by the way, who taught her how to hate men and especially white men. But here's was daddy on the stand today.
Savings of cash.
Oh, no, see, maybe, excuse me, and Your Honor, I'm not trying to be racist, okay?
No.
But it's a black thing, okay? I was trained, and most black folks, they hide cash, so...
They hide cash because they don't train Whitey. And again, she testified yesterday. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that's been going on in this community for this racist. She testified yesterday that her father warned her if she was ever out on a date, she should have $200 on her at all times because he's liable to be dumped on the side of the road by a man who's going to treat her like crap. And so her theory is, well, you better have money, girls, because some guy you're with is going to treat you like crap over the side of the road and leave you to fend for yourself. Especially a white guy. God knows you can't trust Whitey. I mean, this is, here we go.
That's good advice for every man to tell his daughter if you're going out on a date, in case they skip out on the date or they leave you stranded, have some cash on you so you can get home.
Well, I have a little Peterson thing that my father did with us, and it's called walking around money. And anytime...
Little Peter?
Thank you so much. A little thing my father did, not little Peter's son. Little Peter's son. Pete misspoke there, clearly. And he would say, you need a little walking around money. And so we made sure we always had at least, back in the 60s, it might be $10. But, and every time I see my daughters, and when I see them in person, I give them each $200. And I hide it. Actually, I hide it in their house somewhere. And so they come upon it at some point during my visit. They'll come. It might be in the refrigerator or in their coffee pot or something. So whatever. But and the kids, my grandkids now, whenever I see them, I'm such an idiot. Whenever I see them, I pretend it's a big secret. I say to Molly, I say, "Hey, kid, get over here. All right, take this. Don't tell anybody where you got it. All right, shut up. Get away. You bother me." Like. And I call it a little walking around money. And if I send them a birthday card, I put a 20 in there. I mean, and I say, here's a little walking around money. And they know, to kind of take care of themselves. All right, 3:30, I'm late. Coming up, more star witnesses on the Black Mamba trial with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And your calls, Let It Rip Friday, and Taylor, and the love story. And we got it all with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on Friday right here.
Neil Boortz is live every day on Extra 106.3. And if you missed the legend, you missed this.
Did you see the story that Gen Z people are just beside themselves with angst, anguish, and everything else in the world over having to fill out tax forms? And some of them...
Welcome to life.
Some of them are seeking psychiatric help.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
My name is Pamela Conley. I've worked for Bruce Hagen for 22 years. It's been the best years of my life, and not everyone can say that about their jobs. I'm the intake specialist for new clients, so I am the voice you hear when you call our office and the first face you see when you come by. I love sharing my years of experience with people and alongside Bruce, helping them through what is so often a really hard time. My name is Pamela Conley, and I work for Bruce Hagen. Let him work for you. Hagen-law.com.
As we start 2024, Central Heating and Air Conditioning would like to thank everyone for trusting them with your heating and air conditioning and home performance needs by throwing the 27th annual Winter White Sale going on right now through the end of February. And you can save up to $2,000 with carrier rebates, the best in the business. At Central, you're guaranteed to get the best deals possible. And why is Central Heating and Air the best? Well, they're one of the few locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta. With Central, you're not just a number, you're a member of the family. It's been that way since 1947, and it's still that way today. And Central Heating and Air Conditioning can fix what ails your house health and possibly your family's health with home ventilation and air quality products. Central has packages designed around health using variable speeds, fresh air ventilation, air cleaners, air purifiers, dehumidifiers, and more. Central Heating and Air's 27th annual Winter White Sale goes through the end of February. So check them out online at centralheat.com or call them at 770-GET-HEAT and turn to your Atlanta carrier experts.
It's a mad world out there, but one thing is certain, everyone is trying to market something. So tune in every Saturday at 3 p.m. to the Marketing Madmen, who, along with a variety of industry expert guests, can help you make sense of it all. Whether you own a business and want tips to scale, or are a fan of the finer things in life and want to know how restaurants, golf courses, and wine companies try to sell you stuff, the Marketing Madmen is your ultimate destination for all things marketing. Tune in right here on Extra 106.3 every Saturday at 3 p.m. or search online for more content. Join the madness with the Marketing Madmen.
The Morning Extra. Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, The Kimmer Show, Jesse Kelly, Jimmy Fela, and Guy Benson. The biggest lineup of conservative voices in the South are on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra 106.3 app.
There we go. Now we're talking. Little Brittany for you here with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Oh baby. That's from Africa. 2007 on this very day, that naughty little Britney Spears walked into Esther's haircutting studio in Tarzana, California, with a couple of bodyguards and wanted to have her head shaved at a hair salon, and they didn't want her to, and people were ticked off. The salon owner refused, and so Britney shaved it herself in front of about 70 photographers. Britney then went to a tattoo parlor. She got 2 new tats, a small small pair of red and pink lips on her wrist and a black, white, and pink cross on her lower hip. And they say it was the beginning of her public meltdown. Filed for divorce from her husband, Kevin Federline, months earlier, was negotiating custody arrangements for their 2 kids and kind of basically having some sort of a meltdown, old Brittany. Birthday list includes, here we go, The Weeknd. The guy's name is The Weeknd. He's a singer, right? Isn't that? He's a singer or a rapper or something, right? And his name is The Weeknd. He's 34. And I've heard the name. I don't know. Is he like a big deal? Flounder, is he a thing? Or I'm sorry, Flounder's in the back. Never mind. Pete, do you know this guy, The Weeknd?
What's his name?
The Weeknd.
He's famous.
Yes. It's a big thing.
He played at the Super Bowl. He did the Super Bowl halftime show one year.
Okay. I remember. I know who. I know the name, but I've never heard his stuff that I know.
He only works weekends.
Well, Monday through Friday, you just can't find the guys. Trail story. In history on this day, 1923, the burial chamber of King Tutankhamun, recently unearthed, was opened in the Valley of the Kings near Luxor. Inside was a spacious, beautifully decorated chamber of King Tut, completely occupied by an immense shrine covered with gold inlay. Workmanship of this kind was truly amazing. The chamber had been undisturbed for 3,000 years, and unlike many of the ancient relics in Egypt, had not been robbed of its treasures. The historical interest of the discovery of King Tut's tomb, providing Egyptologists with some of the best insight to that period ever discovered. And, of course, it did a world tour. It came to Atlanta, didn't it? All the King Tut stuff, if I remember correctly?
Yes.
I didn't see it. Did you see it? I don't remember seeing it. Founder, you may not even been alive. This was probably in the 70s or 80s, I guess. I can't remember. Did you go to see it, Pete?
No, I did not.
Well, I didn't mean to accuse you, sir. I was just curious. No offense, my God. You went to that damn.
I'm a huge fan of history, but for some reason, Egyptian history, ancient history, just bores the blank out of me.
Well, I don't. I don't know why. I love watching the History Channel for stuff, but I would not be called a fan of history. I know you are, and when I do things like read that stupid Mayflower book, it's one of the greatest books I've ever read. So I'm an idiot, and I know it. Let's see. President Hayes signed a bill allowing female attorneys to practice and argue cases before the Supreme Court. Girls in the Supreme Court. Rutherford B. Hayes made it possible in 1879. Yesterday, I don't know if that was yesterday's history list. I'm sneaking those in there. I did the work. I'm taking the benefit. 3:37. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Hold on a second. And this hour of our program is sponsored by our very good friends at First Liberty Building and Loan. If you need financing to grow your business, visit FirstLibertyGA.com, and you'll be better off for it. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. And again, my iPad thing. It goes, if it's not like 15 seconds, unless you hit it again, it goes dark. All right, here's the latest again. The Trump case. Donald Trump is now barred from operating business because of the civil trial case by that skanky racist hater Letitia James in New York. And the judge has already found him guilty for misleading banks and inflating his business dealings to make him worth more money. So they gave him a bigger loan, which he paid back. Nobody got hurt. Everybody got their money. Nobody got anything out of anything. And so she said it was wrong. The judge said it was wrong, and now this Judge Engram, was he that freak hippie? He's that former taxi driving hippie, wasn't he? Isn't that the guy? I'm sure that's the guy. Handed down his ruling today, months-long trial, stemming from her lawsuit saying he inflated his freaking assets and therefore committed fraud. The judge ruled that he and the company and Don Jr. were persistent and repeated fraud, falsifying business record defendants, false financial statements, conspiracy to falsify financial statements, and co-conspiracy to commit insurance fraud. My God. See, they can do anything they want. Fined him $350 million. And now, where's the story in here? Let's see. Trump says it's a witch hunt. Well, no, this story, they're written like these freaking newspaper writers don't know how to write crap. He apparently can't take out loans for 3 years. And this is outrageous. And I guess there's no appealing. It's a civil case. Does he have an appeal on a civil case like this? I don't know. I don't know where you go on a civil appeal case. I should know that. Well, maybe I should know it. 3:39. Sorry. Okay, the Black Mamba did not testify today, Fani the Floozy. Her daddy did, though. And in fact, we have another soundbite there, Flounder. Let's do daddy cut number 2. He was in trial today. And then we'll talk about who else was testifying and what this all means, too. Here's daddy of Fani's Floozy.
Yes, apparently he thought he knew COVID was coming before anybody else did.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's a naysayer. He's a soothsayer, yeah.
I may be wrong, but I believe COVID hit in 2020, so I was asking about 2019. In 2019, did you spend any time in California?
Before COVID was even here in the United States, remember I lived in South Africa and I've traveled the world. I knew COVID was coming before. I knew COVID was around before. They may have announced it in 20, but in fact, I knew about it and I knew what was happening in 19.
Okay, so let's walk through 2019 then. You said you moved here in September. So
no, I didn't say that. I moved here probably prior to September.
Anyway, they were asking whether he was living in the house with her, the daughter, therefore trying to prove that this guy, Play Daddy, Mr. Wade, was not actually having sex with her because her daddy would have known it or something, and that's really, that there was not a romantic relationship when he said there was, or the defendant said there was. I mean, this is just unbelievable, and how they're going to get to the bottom of this is going to be very hard. I can't imagine the judge is going to let this stand, but especially since there's another defense star witness coming up today. In fact, he may have already been done testifying. There's no live coverage on Fox today, and I'm in here, so I don't know. But a guy named Terrence Bradley, the attorney and former friend of Nathan Wade, who's on the stand, is back testifying today. He's expected to testify again that Wade and Black Mamba began their affair long before she appointed him to prosecute Donald Trump and his 18 co-defendants. They claimed they did not have a personal romantic relationship. They were just friends before she appointed him as special prosecutor. But Mr. Bradley will refute that claim. He's an attorney representing Michael Roman, one of the defendants in the election interference case, according to one of their lawyers. Bradley would testify the romantic relationship between Wade and the Black Mamba began long before Willis was sworn in as district attorney for Fulton County in January 2021. Prosecutors representing the state say they do not have any more witnesses to call today, so we'll see. And by the way, the Babylon Bee is all over this case, too, as are we. In an unexpected turn of events, Vice President Carmela's side piece was removed from the top spot of worst diversity hire of all time after Georgia District Attorney Fani the Black Mamba opened her mouth during the televised trial about inappropriate use of funds and an alleged affair with a top prosecutor. D.A. Willis' perfectly executed court disaster may not have been enough to get her to the top of the proven record of Vice President Harris, said one onlooker, but wearing her dress backwards, well, what a coup de grace. Yes, she apparently had her dress on backwards. Those close to side piece Carmela, the shiftless and lazy vice president, say her team is scrambling to prepare her to assume the role of president now that she no longer is the most embarrassing example of racial diversity efforts to ever live. In a public statement released shortly after the incredible live circus act of Fani the Black Mamba, Vice President Sidepiece stated, I am now, as have ever been, ready for the responsibilious station imparted on me to be ready now and forever to be ready for the role of President of the United States, which is what presidents are called here in America. At publishing time, Carmela Sidepiece had regained first place as worst diversity hire of all time after opening her mouth again on television, ladies and gentlemen. It's never going to freaking end. 3:43, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder, 404-741-1230. Neil Boortz joins us at 4 o'clock today. They've charged a couple of, I guess, they're black. 2 kids are now officially charged, and more charges coming, I hope, because I don't get this at all. If in Kansas City, after that incredible shooting spree over the weekend, charges filed against 2 teenagers after, it wasn't over the weekend, I'm sorry, after the parade. 2 teenagers after one person died, 22 shot in a shooting and hurt in a shooting at the Kansas City Championship Parade. They announced 2 juveniles have been charged, and they are behind bars. Gun-related charges as well as resisting arrest. Additional charges are expected. Well, I would think so. Like attempted mass murder. The shooting was Wednesday, of course. A third adult was also detained but later released. No further information. The suspects are juveniles, and they're black. And I love this part. During the shooting, which police believe to be the result of an argument between two parties. Oh, really? Wow, you think there was a dispute of some kind? Gee, that's really good investigative work there. A dispute of some kind led to shooting. Oh, my God. I mean, that's just insulting. Anyway. Excuse me. Yeah.
Well, I mean, how old are we talking here? 14,
they
15,
won't say.
Something like that?
They won't say.
I don't care at this point.
Yeah.
I want them, once we found out exactly who it was, and it shouldn't take long to know exactly who did it, is I want them murdered, and I want them executed on the courthouse lawn.
No, okay.
I want everybody to be able to watch it.
Well, you mean after their trial, of course, and conviction, right? As opposed to
there's
lynching.
No trial. Once we know it's them, we know it's them, you got witnesses, you got video, you got everybody there saw them do it.
So if
I'm sorry, I want them executed right then and there on television.
So because of our satisfaction, by God, we'll know it. People saw them; they were right there. So let's just shoot the bastards. I actually don't have a problem with that. I mean, if you're sure.
Well, torture them
if
first.
you're really sure. Yeah, we'll set them on fire a little bit.
They shot 9 kids.
Yeah, children.
They shot 9 kids. They don't deserve.
Even worse, they just sprayed the crowd. It's not like, it's just they just shot everybody.
Well, as a friend of mine pointed out, in these shootings, they're not exactly Daniel Boone marksmen,
Yeah. I mean, they're just firing. But again, they don't care about any children, babies, mothers. I mean, it doesn't matter. They just shoot non-human. They don't care about human life, truly. Yeah. So clearly they don't deserve to be on this earth.
It's not Sergeant York, licking his thumb and putting it at the end of the barrel there.
Well, you got to clear the fuzz off the end of the sight, Hell, I used to do it. I used to do it because of that stupid movie. 340, I'm not making that up. 346, Skipper Pete and Flounder. Got a little bit on a love story coming up next, and the Flounder's funny, too. Look out, here we go.
From the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust, your best new follow on social media is Extra 1063. We're at XTRA 1063 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at Extra 1063 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
If it's time to buy a new car, what are you looking for? Price? Sure, that's easy. Anyone can offer you a good price, but not everyone cares about your community as much as we do. At Subaru of Gwinnett, there's a lot to love. You'll love our staff, our service department, the entire experience. Because at Subaru of Gwinnett, it's about way more than buying a car. It's investing in your community and loving the people you do it with. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event, come in for a test drive and find great offers on the 2024 Subaru Outback or the model that best fits your lifestyle. And yes, we check a lot of boxes: safety, value, and of course, loving what you drive. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com and find the ride that best suits you. Learn about our incredible staff and find out how your next purchase will benefit your community. We promise you'll love it, because love is what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Subaru of Gwinnett, Satellite Boulevard in Duluth, and online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
True Prep on Cobb Parkway is your one-stop shop for emergency preparedness supplies, including freeze-dried food, water filtration, first aid, and more. They also have a large selection of firearms, including a huge selection of AR-15s, firearm accessories, and ammo at the lowest prices around. They are locally owned and operated. You can visit their store in Marietta on Cobb Parkway or online at trueprep.com. That's TRU prep.com. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow at True Prep.
Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for a new weekly radio show, Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. This week's guest is Pete Andrews, CEO of Reconnect. Tune in on Saturday or find it online at thepodcastpark.com.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 770-627-3235 or online at atlbail.com.
Hey Atlanta, it's Ben, host of the Weekend Ben Burnett Show, proudly brought to you by Peach State Pride. Each and every weekend, we bring you all the issues going on around the globe and what America's ultimate role is in order to drive our agenda forward as conservatives. And if you ever miss an episode, you can download everything I've ever done on Apple, Spotify, or you can go to the Podcast Park. See you around, Atlanta.
As tensions continue to rise in the Middle East and the war in Israel rages on, count on Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station to bring you the stories that matter most without the spin. There's a reason more and more Atlantans are turning to Atlanta's true conservative voices. Extra 106.3 FM.
Here we go, a little Friday soothing music for you. I like this. I love steel guitar chords that are little Kid Rock
and
here.
Then the singing started.
And then, this is a little. Well, that's all right. I like the song. I like the music. In fact, Flounder, by the way, I've now, my go-to song that I start my trip with and I end coming in the door here to work is now How Do You Like Me Now? with Toby Keith. Instead.
Everybody needs walk-in music.
Yeah.
And yours should be that How Do You Like Me Now as you walk in the door.
Exactly true. That's what I'm doing. All of a sudden it just hit me. That's the first one when I leave the parking garage, and the first one I get when I get in the car in the morning, and the last one I play when I come into work. And this is Kid Rock, and it was on this day in 2005. The kidster was arrested for punching a DJ at a strip club in Nashville. Police were called to the incident. Kid Rock escaped from the club, but shortly afterwards, he was pulled over by a cop who got an autograph and did not do a breath test despite smelling alcohol. The officer has since been fired. That was in 2005. Kid Rock was eventually arrested a few hours later for the second time and taken to the night court and released on a $3,000 bond or bail. So anyway, Kid Rock. Well, he punched out a DJ at a bar, a strip club. Our birthdays include Ice-T, 66, original gangsta rapper. His 1992 song, Cop Killer. Now he plays a cop on Law & Order, Shut the Front Door, or whatever it is, or used to. Is that show still on? I have no idea. The Law & Order business? I have no idea.
Yes.
And it is?
Yes.
Wow, my God, that's unbelievable.
Hey, ask Flounder Flounder, what's your walk-in music? When you walk in a room, a theme music would start. What would it be?
Let's see. I would have to choose.
Well, Pete Davis, while you're thinking, take your time.
For a minute on this
take
one.
your time. Pete Davis, what would you pick? What would your choices be?
I know Pete's.
Oh, do you?
The Pink Panther.
Yeah, they're both Henry Mancini. Yeah, it'd be the Pink Panther theme. Or that's during the day.
Jaws.
At night, it'd be the Peter Gunn theme.
Oh, that's a great theme. The Pink Panther. I forgot the Pink Panther. There you go. That's Peter Gunn, man, from 1956 or something. Old black and white TV, man. What do they call it? Black noir, TV noir, or art noir? What do they call it?
Film noir.
Film noir.
Film noir. Yeah. You walk into the club, man, you have the Peter Gunn theme playing. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. 3:53. And again, we don't know much more about the two teenagers. Apparently, two black gangster guys. This was, please, if these had been two white guys with MAGA hats, prep school kids or something, this story would still be an explosive story leading to riots and statues. Anyway, now, speaking of the Kansas City thing, Taylor Swift, just do a quick little love story here for you. And you can call me all the names you want. Some new video after the post-game celebration with Taylor and Travis Kelce held at the Las Vegas nightclub after their victory. The anti-hero singer audibly tells a friend in the crowd that Travis Kelce's impromptu performance was, quote, the most romantic thing that's ever happened to me. Taylor Swift said what he did was the most romantic thing ever. We met in the middle, she adds excitedly, as Kelce, standing next to her, and the Chainsmokers' Drew Taggart kisses her head. I was like, what's happening? What's happening? The moment in question came when an after-party DJ started playing a remix of Taylor Swift's 2008 smash. Kelce jumped up on stage, singled out the 14-time Grammy winner in the crowd, excitedly belted out his girlfriend's lyrics to her as the pair lovingly pointed at each other. They played it, and I was literally coming out of the bathroom, Kelce tells the Swift in the new video. I was like, yes, perfect timing. The tight end and Swift danced and sang along to another one of her stars' hits, Love Story, capturing Kelce pointing at himself during the lyric, you be the prince, gesturing to her, and I'll be the princess, and after smiling and mouthing the lyrics, it's a love story, baby, just say yes.
God.
Yes, the sweet girl wearing Kelce's jacket wrapped her arms. Shut up! Wrapped her arms around the football star's neck and kissed him. Yeah, and then they gushed about Kelce singing, "You belong with me. You belong with me."
Oh,
sure,
that's
she wears high heels. I'm in the bleachers. I wear sneakers. She's cheer captain.
Right,
I'm in the bleachers.
Gayer by the moment.
Shut up.
I have reached saturation point. I'm sorry.
I love this story. Can you imagine this big, burly football player is saying, I'm the prince and you're the prince? I mean, come on.
Okay.
My God.
How many tubs of ice cream is it going to take for you to get over it when they break up?
You know what I've been doing about the last week? I'm having a hot fudge sundae every night. I've gained 8 pounds. I swear to God. I swear I'm not making that up. And I'm weeping a lot more too.
Estrogen. Gotta watch Hallmark movies now.
Oh, I don't quite go that far. And now check this out. I think it's a sweet love story. Now check this out. The incident with Andy Reid, when Kelce came up and screamed at him on the sideline and kind of shoved him or grabbed him and stuff like that. Well, a girl named Dr. Jacquia Del Rosario, who is a relationship coach, says it had the makings of trouble. His girlfriend, pop star Taylor Swift, should make note of what he did. Looking at the clip, this Dr. Girl says, we can't necessarily say he's a toxic partner, but we can say there are certain things we need to be concerned about. She said, it is a Super Bowl, emotions running high, but it did show how Kelce handles conflict and that the writing is on the wall. This is something you take notice of in a relationship, something that's more emotionally mature, someone. You're able to handle yourself regardless of what the scenario is. So I'm glad they're giving him a pass, but if I'm Taylor, I'm making a note of, whoa. I'm sure she's already seen something like that, though. But like is not enough. She says, it's obvious the two like each other, but like is not enough, this girl doctor says. One of the things when you're in love and in a committed relationship, you might not like the person very much, but you need to be able to respect who they are and how they show up. I feel the outburst was a little over the top. I felt it was lacking respect. I understand it's a Super Bowl, but I'd be very careful. She says Michael Jordan I'd be fan of Michael Jordan because he never handled himself like that. And Michael Jordan was really wonderful and sweet and fantastic. And then she says, football's a violent sport. I think the tendency toward the rage and the violence can have some organic basis as well. He showed himself, she says, he showed his ugly undercarriage. And we all have those moments. It's those aspects about ourselves that we don't want on display because we're not proud of it. He just needs to do the work. If you don't like the way it works or the way way it sounds, just do the work. He needs to work on how to control his anger and rage. He needs to look at how does he show respect to others and how does he expect it back as well. Oh, give me a freaking break. All of a sudden now she's got to be worried about her boyfriend because he did that on the sidelines at the Super Bowl? Oh, please. If I could count the number of times that I picked up a chair in my house ready to throw it. Oh, sorry. No, never mind that. Erase that last part. No, that was 4 or 5 times max.
Y2K New Year's Eve. You know, the big one, 2000, 99 to 2000.
All hell's going to break loose. Yeah.
I spent it alone because I got upset at a college football game and I kicked the ottoman.
Oh, and she left? Because you kicked the ottoman.
I kicked the ottoman.
Well, Bobby Ottoman, or the ottoman.
The actual ottoman.
Well, that's a heartbreaker. Anyway, I just, my God, the woman's she doesn't know anything about Travis Kelce. This chick doctor all of a sudden diagnoses him from out of the blue. I thought that was illegal. Anyway, 4 o'clock, Kid Repeat. Neil Boortz next with the Kid Repeat and Flounder. Here we go. Look out.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Atlanta Safe House.
This is a Fox News alert. The former president loses a civil fraud trial. I'm Lisa Brady. A state Supreme Court judge in New York just ruling against former President Trump, the Trump Organization, and executives, including his 2 oldest sons, finding them liable for inflating asset values and other deceptive practices that New York Attorney General Letitia James says went on for years. She wanted a lifetime ban on doing business in New York. Instead, the judge gives the former president a 3-year ban on holding executive office at a New York company or getting loans from New York banks, with a 2-year ban for sons Eric and Don Jr. The judge also imposing nearly $364 million in penalties. Fox News chief legal correspondent Shannon Bream.
There weren't, quote, victims here. There weren't people that came forward and demanded justice from the Attorney General. So in New York, even though we're referring to this as the Supreme Court, it's not their final court of appeal. Their court of appeals is actually above their state Supreme Court. So the Trump team feels like on so many different counts, they've got a really strong measure on appeal. No doubt that they're going to take every penny of this to appeal. So what happens in the meantime? A lot of this has been put on hold, taking the business licenses and those kinds of things.
The judge also removed a previous order that the former president's companies must be dissolved. In his lengthy written decision, the judge rejected efforts to blame accountants and criticized defendants' refusal to admit errors. An attorney for the former president says the court ignored the law and the facts, signing off on a political crusade against the front-running presidential candidate and calling the decision part of a tyrannical abuse of power. President Biden is due in East Palestine, Ohio, where some residents say it's too late, more than a year after a toxic train derailment.
The time's right for him, and it's campaign time. It's election year.
The White House has defended a multi-agency federal response. Stocks finish lower, the Dow down 145 at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you still on the fence about owning gold? It's time to pull the trigger with the Oxford Gold Group and buy gold and silver. Nobody can predict the future, but we can't put our head in the sand either. The Oxford Gold Group are the pros. They make owning gold and silver simple and easy to understand. Call Oxford Gold Group right now and you may qualify for up to $10,000 in free precious metals. Call 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD.
A toast to our new college grad who fills us with so much joy, almost as much as when we're in our RV. Oh, the world is your oyster, kiddo, and ours too. Now that we're covered with Progressive, Dad and I can hop in our RV anytime we want. Might even splurge on a retractable awning. Oh, look out. Sorry, what was I talking about?
Protect your loved one with an RV policy from Progressive. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Do the Bart man. I love it. 403, look out, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder, and our special guest coming up in a second. Along with The Simpsons, was on this day in 1991. The Simpsons #1 on the British singles chart with Do the Bartman. Was written by Michael Jackson and Brian Leonard, Lauranander. I don't know. The Simpsons became the first cartoon characters to make #1 since the Archies hit Sugar Sugar in 1969. Jackson was a massive fan of The Simpsons, Michael Jackson, and had called the producers one night offering to write Bart a #1 single and do a guest spot on the show. And he wanted to hang around that little guy, I guess, for some reason. Our birthday list includes Elizabeth Olsen, the actress, 35, Scarlet Witch in the MCU, I don't know what that is, and WandaVision.
Yeah, she's Marvel.
Marvel comic. Elizabeth Olsen, 35 today. Yeah, that's it. And understand history. In 1868, New York City, the Jolly Corks organization changes its name from Jolly Corks because it sounded so silly, and instead decided to become Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks. But no, honestly, I forgot I was going to look this up. Why elks? I mean, why would they pick elks? And they have moose.
Beasts.
There are people, Jackie Gleason had the Order of the Moose. Wasn't that the Moose at the lodge?
Grand Poobah.
Anyway, I can't believe it. All right, do we have our special guest on the phone here, Fly? Oh, hey, here we go, 405. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, boy, it's Neil Boortz. Neil Boortz from Lord knows where. How are you, Neil, and what's going on?
I was an elk.
You were an elk? No kidding.
Yeah.
Now tell me. Now my dad was, did Kiwanis Club and stuff like that, and junior business leaders and all that kind of stuff. But I've heard of the Elks, but I don't know what they do. What is an elk, and why did you belong to them?
We do good things for the community.
Well, of course, but I mean, in other words, do you have meetings to do? You have a special thing, or are you known for something?
Well, I'm giving you the special elk sign right now.
Oh, the special. Yeah, I had one of those when I was at Phi Delta Theta. We had a little finger thing too, but I can't see.
I was Gamma Delta Iota.
So you just did community projects and stuff, and you have meetings and drink beer.
And the Elks Club, it was out on Memorial Drive, okay?
Yeah. Well,
so the only thing you go out on Memorial Drive for now in Atlanta is if you want to see, how to dodge bullets and,
drugs.
But they had a fantastic swimming pool. But I got to tell you, the elk wives are, they look like female elk.
Like the elks, do they?
Yeah, what can I tell you?
Oh, my mercy. Well, I certainly have heard of them, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm just kind of curious. By the way, I wanted to mention one thing. When you were on with the Morning Boys the other day, I must have been this past Tuesday morning, and of course I listen to all the shows, stuff like that. And when you were talking about the name of a rather unusual name of somebody's dog, you remember that?
Well done, rump roast.
Yeah, there you go. And I thought, well, I knew that name, and I had kind of a mental thing for a second, but as they were listening, they had no idea what you were talking about. And then you said, and tell them who the dog belonged to, Neil.
Melvin Belli.
And they said, Melvin Belli. Never heard of Melvin Belli. I go, oh my God. These guys, wow, there's the age break off right there. These guys are what, 40, 35? Now, Flounder, have you ever heard, you're 40, early 40s, have you ever heard of Melvin Belli?
Not until you guys started talking about it a minute ago.
It's unbelievable. Now, Pete, you know Melvin Belli, obviously, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And of course, and Neil and I, of course, we're old farts, but Melvin Belli, my God, he took care of Jack Ruby, Zsa Zsa Gabor, Errol Flynn, the Rolling Stones. He sued the Navy for tail hook scandal. He took on Dow Corning for breast implants. So he was the king of torts, very flamboyant. And in fact, one story, Neil, I'm sure you know about this. And I can't believe the morning guys had never heard of him, and I know they do now because it was just a major force. One of his early trials, where he got his nickname and got his reputation, he had a girl who lost a leg in being run over by a train, and so the girl's in court, and so Melvin Belli goes up to the jury holding her artificial leg in his hand, goes up to the jury box and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, my client, this lovely young girl is going to have to wear this for the rest of her. Oh, sorry. And he drops it into the lap of one of the jurors. The leg. He drops her leg into the lap of one of the jurors. They came back in about 15 minutes with everything she wanted. So
well, I remember one of his best lines was he was, I don't think it was in a trial, okay, but...
Well, he was he was on the TV all over the place. Very popular guest. He was everywhere.
He was making a speech.
Yeah.
And some doctors were giving him a hard time over medical malpractice and this and that and the other thing. And he said, look, let me tell you something. You guys are physicians. You're doctors. I'm an attorney. He said, when my ancestors in my profession were writing the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States, your predecessors were putting leeches on people's asses. and that shut them down good.
Yeah,
right
bite on this leather strap, and we'll take that appendix out for you. So,
this Donald Trump thing now.
Oh my God! Have you heard the latest today's court ruling? Have you heard the last few minutes?
Yeah. I'm not a Donald Trump fan. I think he's a egotistic narcissist and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I was a real estate attorney for a long time.
Yeah.
To me, it was a long time. 3 days would have been a long time. But who in the hell hasn't inflated the value of their real estate while they're applying for a loan? Who hasn't done that?
Well,
and you know what? That's why lenders hire appraisers.
Yeah, because you get several appraisers to find the one you like who comes up with the best figure. I mean, duh, my God. But the thing that killed me, this idiot judge, isn't he the former hippie freak cab driver? Isn't that what he was?
No, that's
doing?
Maduro.
Okay,
in Venezuela.
Oh, that's this guy is anyway. But Trump's property is worth like $300 million, and the judge said it was worth $9 million or something. I mean, it was just outrageous how he convicted him at the beginning. Jeez.
And if everybody out there who owns real estate that has ever to anybody inflated the value of that real estate, if they turn themselves in right now, there wouldn't be enough jail space.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And then, of course, he says he can't do business for 3 years, and his son, both sons, I guess, for a couple of years or so. Or I guess he can't run a business. I'm not sure how it's legally phrased. But and by the way, Neil, what do you think about this? A few minutes ago, if I were Donald Trump, I swear to God above, I would do this. I swear to you, dear Lord, please put this thing into his brain. If I were Donald Trump,
I don't talk to him.
If I were I'm an ordained minister, so is Pete Davis. So I'm the most dangerous minister in America, true. But here's what I would do. I would say, okay, ladies and gentlemen of New York City, guess what? Every property I have is now a homeless shelter and a tranny shelter and a illegal immigrant shelter.
That would be great.
A runaway shelter, and open it up and honest to God, just say here, honest. Oh my God, can you imagine what would happen? Trump Tower all of a sudden is nothing but trannies and homeless and transvestites and oh my God, the drug addicts.
There are few things over which I have no control that I have enjoyed quite as much in recent years as New York getting kicked in the nads for their moral exhibitionist sanctuary city, Bravo Sierra.
Yep.
And boy, are they taking it but we're a sanctuary city. We won't work with federal law enforcement on illegal immigrants. Yeah. Okay, well, here's your illegal immigrants.
Yeah, how do you like them?
Yeah, have fun. I love New York going through that.
And it's now almost every day there's something, too. And by the way, they just had the kids, these illegal scumbags who are kicking the cops in the face. And one of them is now out on a $1 bail. $1 bail. A couple of others got high. I mean, it's unbelievable. And what kills me about this whole sanctuary city thing is that they did it deliberately to call us racists. They said, oh, you Republicans don't want these little brown people coming in here, so we'll show you how America should be. We'll say, welcome, everybody. Come on in. We'll take care of you, to show you racist, white supremacist Republicans should be ashamed of yourselves. So they did it to try to shame us, and now they're suffering for it because they got exactly what they wanted, even though they didn't really want it. They just sounded good. They said, boy, this is a great policy. We'll take everybody. And of course, it's backfiring because they're a bunch of phonies. They just wanted to attack us on a race basis, just like Fani, Black Mamba. Man, did you watch that trial yesterday? Did you see any of her testimony yesterday, by the way?
I did a little bit of it. But when she first took office, she made some speeches and said some things that I thought were right on about crime, recidivism, and the people of Atlanta don't want to put up with this anymore, and I'm going to make sure they don't have to, and blah, blah, blah. But then all of a sudden she just loved the publicity of being somebody that was prosecuting Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if I've got the facts wrong. It looks like she hired her boyfriend to, hey, listen, I got this deal for you. I got this deal. I'm going to make you special prosecutor on this Trump thing. I can pay you unbelievable. We're going to use some of it to have some fun, make some trips and everything. But this is going to be great for both of us.
Well, there's testimony that she was lying about when it started, but plus the duplicity of these people, wibbling and wobbling on the stand when they said, well, when did your romance start? And said, well, we were friends. The romance is not really the same as having a friend. And, when did it end? Well, a man thinks it ends after you have sex, but I thought it ended after we stopped talking. I mean, it's just mamby-pambying on the stand all over the place, and the business about cash. Oh my God!
I'd like to have her on the stand and say, okay, tell me, Miss Wells, as close as you can, the date upon which you two first made the beast with two backs.
Well, I was astounded.
Somebody
yesterday.
explain to Kimmer what the beast.
That black ram is tupping your white ewe. How about that, Mr. Smarty Pants? That's the actual quote from the Shakespeare. That black ram is tupping your white ewe, E-W-E.
Yikes.
The beast of two backs, indeed.
I'm glad Trump has never heard that line before.
By the way, Neil, now let me ask you this. Now, maybe there's a legal reason. You can help me out on this. Yesterday in the trial, this big blonde attorney, Miss Merchant, for the defendant, Miss Merchant, got her on the stand, Fani, the Black Mamba, and said, the Black Mamba said, you implied that I was having sex when I met Mr. Wade at this conference in Denver or whatever it was in June of whatever it was. And Fani said, I did that, but that's not true. That was a lie. We did not have any relations of any kind. He was my boss, and we had a meeting, and that was all. We did not have sex. Why didn't she say, oh, well, you didn't have sex then. When was the first time you had sex?
I know.
Why didn't she ask that?
Well, because attorneys...
No foundation or something? I mean, what's the possible reason? I mean, I myself, I'm going, oh, my God, say, well, gee, then when was the first day? I'm sorry, I got that wrong. When was the first day? Correct me. And she would have had to answer.
Attorneys try never to ask a question they don't already know the answer.
I know,
to.
but still, the whole point is trying to find out when she had sex the first time. So you want her to commit perjury because they have other witnesses, including when this guy showed up today saying that they were having sex in before 2021. So therefore, if you get her to commit perjury, you got her. So you should have asked a direct question.
If you keep talking about those two having sex, I'm going to go throw up. So please.
I'm sorry,
now,
Big Mama.
I'll give you an example of how an attorney can mess up a perfectly great cross-examination.
Okay.
It was a case of mayhem. Mayhem that's biting off somebody's body part, like an ear.
Is that the actual phrase for it?
Yeah.
I thought mayhem was like a riot and stuff. I had no idea mayhem was an actual. I'll be damned. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So Mike Tyson committed mayhem against Evander Holyfield.
I'll be darned.
So anyway, the attorney's questioning a witness in the case, the defense attorney. Did you see my clients actually bite off the plaintiff's ear? And the answer, well, no. The attorney should have walked away. He didn't. He said, well, then how come you testified that he bit off,
Yeah.
Well, I saw him spit it out.
Therefore.
So the answer to the questions you asked, that might have been one of the things that was going on in that attorney's mind.
That was so, it was so obvious. And I thought, well, there must be some kind of lack of foundation, or she could have said, I don't remember, and then it would have spoiled it for later or something. There must have been some reason, because she's a lot smarter than I'll ever be. And I mean, I was watching her. She was really impressive and a shark. So there must have been a reason, but I don't know what it is. I couldn't imagine why she didn't say, well, geez, when was the first day? Correct me.
Well, I didn't see that part, but if she had good, solid proof that this had happened, before a certain date, well, then ask the question.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
and then nail them later. But if you have the least bit of doubt, don't give them an opportunity to really, embarrass you there.
She must have been afraid that the Black Mamba would say, I don't remember, and let it go, and, I don't know. I don't get it.
Speaking of that,
yes.
Here is the classic "Don't let the doorknob hit you" story. What do you think it is?
Let's see. Well, God, there's so many politically. I don't know.
Blaxit.
Oh, really? What's up?
Black Americans are the Drudge headline says Black Americans are so sick of racism. Like we're not tired of anything. They're so sick of they're trying to go back or go to Africa. It's not back. They've never been there. But they're trying to go to Africa and make a new life there. And some of them are apparently quite successful at it. There was a story about one lady that has a bunny rabbit farm, but for what, I don't know. But that is classic. Well, don't let the doorknob hit you on the way out.
I don't know what the hell's going on here. This division and racism and this is a season, a political season for the last 7 or 8 years that this country has never seen. And I wish I'd be alive in 100 years to see how historians would look back and say, "Oh my God, can you believe what they're doing in the 2020s?"
Well, you'll be able to see.
Yeah, somewhere I can look up.
You'll be able to see. But listen, here I want you to put on your. I want you to cogitate on something for a while, not necessarily today, but just cogitate on it.
I'll cogitate.
And that is, try to develop in your mind a difference between racism and culturalism.
I agree with you. I know that. I think I know what exactly we're talking about. You tell me, and I'll tell you whether I.
Yeah, well, that is culturalism is a belief that some cultures are just inherently superior to others, and I'll tell you what. White suburban culture is inherently superior to black urban culture, period. It has nothing to do with the race. It is culture. So, people call you racist, say, no, I'm not a racist. Actually, I'm a culturalist. And then have them sit and just stare at you with their mouth aching open, trying to figure out what you've just said. And, of course, most of the ones that throw the racism word around will never be able to understand what you're saying anyway. Well,
that's because you're going to be called a racist no matter what. If anytime you say better than instead of different from, you're going to be called a racist, even though the facts may be there. Hell, these 2 kids in Kansas City, apparently 2 young black gangbangers willing to mow down a crowd and 1 million people just firing blatantly, just at anybody and everybody, children, moms, they don't care. Talk about, my God, not being raised by a community or even a family, good Lord. And they're, if they had been white MAGA hat wearing, prep school kids, this would have been a whole different session of media coverage, I can tell you that right now.
Well, I need some education here. Has it been determined that the shooters were black?
I saw their picture, and it's a black kid, looking like he's a black kid. I don't know the age. They're both teenagers.
Imagine my shock.
Yeah. And what kills me, Neil, the reporters and the police chief are still saying, well, this was not a terrorism event, was a dispute that led to the shooting. Well, obviously, that still doesn't tell it. Was it a gang thing? Was it an initiation thing? Was it, a girlfriend thing? Was it one gang against another? Somebody saw the colors and he shot the wrong colors of the gang come on, let's out with it. But since it's 2 young black kids, they're not saying anything. Anyway, I don't know. I just think it's.
By the way, do you play golf?
I used to. I haven't played. No, I held one of the time. I played with you. I think 9 holes one time. God, it must have been so long ago. I can't remember. Out at that really tough course with a lot of hills and teeny greens, fast greens. I used to play, and I started hitting balls last spring, and then bad weather came, and I haven't hit a ball in months. But I want to go back. I'm going to break my age sometime this year. I'm going to break my age.
Apparently, there is some deal going on out there where you can enter a contest and win a round of golf with Paige Spiranak.
Oh, really? That's that hot. That would. She's a little too showy for me. She's kind of asking for it. She's.
Well, what is she showing that you don't like?
No, it's not. I mean, it's just. My God, I'd just be Googling all day long and looking at her legs and just I don't know. But it'd be fun. I love playing golf with girls. In fact, there were times where I played with guys' girlfriends who were really good golfers, and it was fun. I wish I'd married a golfer. If I was married to a woman who played golf, I'd still be married. I'll bet you.
That's what it would take?
Yeah,
really?
That's what it would take. Wow. Hey, by the way, I challenged you last time we spoke to find out exactly what your wife said about what was reason she called Hillary a bitch after that meeting she had that she's never told you. And I said, you got to tell her what happened with Hillary. Well,
I asked, she heard me say that to you, and it was made very clear to me in very, very forceful language.
Colorful, yes.
That I am not going to tell anybody.
Sorry, I didn't mean to offend. She must be obeyed.
But all I can tell you is that I'm propped up in bed watching TV. The door opens and all I see is this purse flying across the room into the blinds on the window at the hotel
after meeting with Hillary.
and that word, that bitch. But that was one of the most. Something happened at that particular Renaissance weekend on Hilton Head, and that was treated to the sight of Hillary Clinton in a bathing suit, reading a book by the pool.
Oh God!
Nobody. No. Let's just leave that alone.
Yeah. Here, have a towel. Have a couple. Have 8 or 9. By the way, how are you doing? You said you had are you sick or a little bug or you had a voice thing yesterday? Everything all right?
My voice is a little weak. That's all.
Oh,
just a little weak. I'm old, for goodness sakes.
Tell me about it. It's like we had played a comedian the other day. We were making fun of it because the guy said, you get to a certain age and all of a sudden you wake up. He said, "Oh my God, did I work out in my sleep last night? I hurt all over."
But we're still at it. I mean, we're busy planning our travels in the Boortz bus over the summer. In fact, just before talking to you, I nailed down 2 weeks at Blue Water Key in the Keys.
Oh, really?
At the 14.5 mile marker.
I've been to Key West. I've been to Key Largo. I've been to I guess I've been to 2 of the spots for a little while, but I don't know that one.
This is so easy. It's the Blue Water Key Resort, and it's just amazing and relaxing and on the beach and all of that kind of stuff.
I miss being retired. I'll tell you what.
Yes, yeah. So so let's see. Among the places we're going to hit.
Aren't you going to Alaska? Did I hear you say that once?
No, we're going to Quebec City.
Okay, maybe that was it.
We'll be in Quebec City, the Oregon coast, Estes Park, Rocky Mountains, Estes Park,
beautiful,
West Yellowstone, and all of these places. Probably Tucson, so we can spend some time. We just love getting in that bus over the summer and just traveling. Boy, do we burn some diesel fuel.
I'll bet you do. My daughter Sarah and her husband and family do all the national parks. Every summer they go to at least 2 national parks. They've probably been to 10 or 12 of them already.
We love them. And then maybe the best state park in the nation that we've ever run into is called Custer State Park. Very near Mount Rushmore.
From the battle scene in Custer's Last Stand in Park? Or
I guess. Yeah. But you were guaranteed when you drive the loop through that state park, the first part of the loop, the burros will come up and beg food from your window. And the second part of the loop, it's buffaloes.
No kidding.
Or bison, whatever, all over the place. They're so thick there, and their effluent is so thick, you will have buffalo dung stuck in your wheel wells for ages after that. So, Lord, if I ever committed a crime, we found buffalo dung in the wheel.
I wasn't there that weekend.
Where the hell has this guy been? Yeah.
I actually saw a couple of roundups once in the Dakotas and Montana and Wyoming, and I saw a wild buffalo once on a drive, and man, there's nothing like it. It's a shame that you have. Most people will never ever see not only a wild buffalo, but a buffalo in the wild. Or wild horses and stuff. It's a shame.
Well, people get really stupid around buffalo.
Yeah, they're dangerous.
They are horribly dangerous.
Yeah, they're stupid.
Yeah, and okay, did you hear about the Delta flight that they had to turn around?
Yes, oh my God, with the fish?
Yes.
Oh, and tell them what fell out of the fish. Like some guys overhead had brought fish on the plane, and the overhead compartment emptied, and what was in there, Neil?
Well, the fish was rotting, so a bunch of maggots fell out of it.
About 1,000 maggots dumping on the seat in the passenger. Oh, God.
Excuse me, stewardess, could I have another seat, please?
Brutal. Oh, mercy. So, gee, I can't believe there's our traveling music. I can't believe that it's been a half hour. We're gone. Well, listen, call more often then or something, I guess.
No, D Squared has a button, okay?
Well, there you go. I guess somebody's
he's listening, and when I cease to be halfway interested, he pushes that button and the music starts
I'm
playing.
sure it's all on me. Trust me, it's all on me. You're not reacting right to Neil, damn it. Shut up and let him talk. I'll get a memo in the freaking morning. On Saturday, he's going to call me on Saturday. Give me a bunch of crap.
You don't read those, do you?
No, I throw them away. I don't even know where my email is for the company. Hey, Neil Boortz.
I have an email address, but I don't know how to get into it.
Well, there you go.
So it's been going for a year, and I've never looked at it.
Neil Boortz, be careful out there. Special hi and hug to the missus. Happy Valentine's Day late, and we'll talk to you next week. Be careful, Neil. Great to be with you.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks, man. 4:30. Look out. Here we go. 4:30 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder.
Hey homeowners, Tug here with some exciting news. Southern Exteriors is your one-stop solution for top-notch exterior services, from roofing to siding, windows, gutters, and more. No more waiting. They can start on your project immediately. And with an in-house warranty division, Southern Exteriors stands by their work for years to come. From leaky roofs to faded siding, trust Southern Exteriors for a quick and lasting transformation. Don't wait. Transform your home today. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co now. Southern Exteriors, quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years.
Horizon Background Screening is a fully licensed and insured private investigations firm that focuses on litigation support for law firms, criminal defense cases, and background investigations. We are also FCRA compliant and process pre-employment background checks, tenant screening, and background checks for volunteer organizations. Whether your business is a law firm needing anything from scene investigations to witness interviews, or a company that requires pre-employment background checks, we have the experience you need. Visit horizonscreening.com to learn more. That's horizonscreening.com.
I think it's time to get rid of that old, ugly garage door.
Get rid of it? All it needs is a quick repair. Where's my duct tape and WD-40?
This is Dan Watkins with All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors, and let us be the ones to tell you if you need a repair or a replacement. If you have a wooden or uninsulated steel door, a replacement will always pay for itself with energy savings. But if your door is insulated and not very old, put down the duct tape and let us come out to service your door the right way. Head to All Four allfourseasonsgarages.com or give us a call today.
Blue collar business owners, listen up. It's time to revolutionize your hiring process with the Blue Collar Recruiter. Finding the right talent for your blue collar needs just got easier. We specialize in connecting you with skilled and dedicated workers so you can focus on growing your business. So say goodbye to recruitment headaches. Let the Blue Collar Recruiter save you time, effort, and deliver top-notch talent directly to your doorstep. Invest in your team's success with the Blue Collar Recruiter. Visit thebluecollarrecruiter.com or call 678-916-6145.
Millions of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 4 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffer from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. There are lots of competitors that don't have the credentials that I have. When you go to other clinics, you're not going to see a board-certified physician with the experience that I have. When you come to our clinic, you're going to see me. There's just not one therapy that can solve these complex issues. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. Total Body Therapy of Georgia, 404-777-1911, 404-777-1911, online at stopmyed.com.
Aches and pains are just part of getting older. You know it and I know it, but that doesn't mean you have to just accept it. That's why I want to tell you the story about Nancy from Texas and her Relief Factor story. For years, she took care of horses and gave riding lessons. She started getting older and Nancy began feeling the effects, so she decided to give Relief Factor a try. It didn't work overnight, but it did work. These days, she says, I have more stamina because I don't hurt. With Relief Factor, she can keep going and doing more. I can relate, as I used to have terrible aches and pains in my hands. It was to the point that I didn't even want to get out of bed in the morning. But ever since starting Relief Factor, I've got my life back. If you're living with aches and pains, see how Relief Factor, a daily drug-free supplement, can help you feel and live a better life every day. To get started, try Relief Factor, their 3-week quick start kit. It's $19.95, comes with a feel better or your money back guarantee. Visit relieffactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF. That's 800-4-RELIEF.
As we start 2024, Central Heating and Air Conditioning would like to thank everyone for trusting them with your heating and air conditioning and home performance needs by throwing the 27th annual Winter White Sale going on right now through the end of February. And you can save up to $2,000 with carrier rebates, the best in the business. At Central, you're guaranteed to get the best deals possible. And why is Central Heating and Air the best? Well, they're one of the few locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta. With Central, you're not just a number, you're a member of the family. It's been that way since 1947, and it's still that way today. And Central Heating and Air Conditioning can fix what ails your house health and possibly your family's health with home ventilation and air quality products. Central has packages designed around health using variable speeds, fresh air ventilation, air cleaners, air purifiers, dehumidifiers, and more. Central Heating and Air's 27th annual Winter White Sale goes through the end of February. So check them out online at centralheat.com or call them at 770-GET-HEAT and turn to your Atlanta carrier experts.
Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for a new weekly radio show, Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. Tune in every Saturday at 10 a.m. or find it online at thepodcastpark.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Da-da-dum-dum-dum. Just jamming, baby. 436, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on your Friday. With a jam. Big hit #1 single in 1982. A Town Called Malice and Precious. That was the Jam's #1 hit in British chart. Their third #1 spent 3 weeks at the top. The Jam, 1982. Now, I don't know them at all. Were they a hit in America? Or was this pretty much a British thing there?
More British success.
British,
The main guy in there was a guy named Paul Weller.
I know. Well, I know Paul Weller, the actor. Didn't he play that half-machine cop guy?
No.
Isn't that Paul Weller?
No, you're thinking of Peter Weller.
Peter Weller. Peter and Paul. Peter, Paul, and Weller.
RoboCop.
RoboCop. There you go, 437. Wrong
So
again.
close. Once again, so
missed it. Fine. Oh, my God. Mahershala Ali is 50 years old today. He won an Oscar for both Moonlight and Green Book. He'll be playing Blade in the upcoming MCU remake. Now, hold on a second. I don't know his name. I don't know the movie Moonlight, and I don't know the movie Green Book. He won an Oscar for two movies I've never heard of, and him.
If you saw him, you know who he is. He's a black actor. He's been in a lot of stuff.
Okay, but I don't know Moonlight and Green Book. There was a movie big enough called Green Book that he won an Oscar for it. Never heard of it. You ever heard of Green Book? Anyway, well, good for him. I mean, you know, he's there and I'm sitting here. Did I do a history thing? I don't think I did a history thing. Oh, yes, I do. I have one right here. I got to get to my phone because I have several sources here. Here we go. Was on this day. Hold on. I got to find Froggy. Sorry, here it is. Hold on. I'm almost ready. I swear to God. In 1989, investigators, Lockerbie, Scotland, came up with the conclusion a Semtex bomb and an electronic timer hidden inside a Toshiba radio cassette player in a case in the cargo hold is what brought down Pan Am Flight 103 the previous December, killing all 259 people aboard and 11 on the ground. Against FAA rules insisting the checked baggage of any passenger who failed to board be removed from the aircraft's hold, they found that the case had contained the bomb was unaccompanied bag that had been routed onto the PA 103, Pan Am Flight 103, by their interline baggage system from Lucca Airport, Air Malta to Frankfurt, and then by a feeder flight to Heathrow. So it was an unaccompanied piece of baggage in a Toshiba radio cassette player with a bomb. Went through 3 different countries at least and brought down Pan Am Flight 103. Good Lord. Well, I guess we've learned a few things since then.
We got an answer to a question.
What's that? What question and what answer?
We have an answer. You asked, can a civil suit be appealed?
Yeah.
Well,
we got another
Gwendolyn
thing
says
going
if the parties involved in a civil case do not agree in advance that the decision of the court will be final, the outcome of the civil case may be appealed. An appeal is a written petition to a higher court to modify or reverse a decision. It begins with the loser of a trial filed a notice of appeal.
Yeah, but to where? My question was what court? What kind of court handles? Is there a civilian appeals court? I mean, is there a state appeals court for civilian?
A higher court.
Well, yeah, but that's my question was what court? I don't know whether the same criminal court system handles appeal cases for civil cases. That's all. That's no big deal. Either I assume he's going to appeal. $350 million fine. My God. 440 here with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Coming up, you're going to hear President Stupid. Oh God! What did I flounder? What did I forget? A little funny here. Sorry.
I live in Los Angeles, California, and every new idea that comes out of there, they adopt it immediately. And I'm a little more conservative. Like the new one is any man that says they're a woman, immediately you must address them as a woman. And I'm progressive. I'm like, all right, but they should have to pass a test first. Because women have skills men don't have. You can't just say I'm a woman. Do something a woman could do, then I'll believe you. Right? Can you break into my iPhone in the time I go to the bathroom and come back to the dinner table? Just something basic. Can you be totally starving but have no idea what you want to eat? Some of you know what I'm talking about. Can you turn a compliment into an argument? That's what I want to know. It's like, babe, you look beautiful tonight. So I didn't look beautiful last night?
Now we're talking. I think I know that guy. I think I was married to that girl.
You look so photogenic, so I don't look beautiful in real life?
Yeah. It's like the girl on death row. Death row and her execution date is in about 3 hours. And the guy, the chaplain and the warden walk in and they say, well, it's time. What do you want for your last meal? She says, I don't know. What do you want? 442. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. Again, I can't believe this story is not all over every place. Substack, the two guys who write for Substack, it's a website and it's an entity, and they were the same guys who got the whistleblower story concerning the Biden crime family and all the connections for the millions of dollars and the hidden money and the offshore accounts and so forth and a Hunter laptop and all this stuff. They're the ones who broke that and got whistleblowers to come forward. Well, they're at it again. Just the other day, we talked about how they did the story, and there's a 10-inch file someplace, and we think that Donald Trump may even have copies of it. It's gone. We think the FBI took it because it shows that under Brennan at the CIA, under Barack Hussein Putitat, he went to our countries like Canada and Australia and like five countries total. They're called the Five. And he went to them and said, hey, we want you to start investigating these 26 friends of Donald Trump. And when the other agencies around the world started investigating at our CIA's request, the friends of Donald Trump, then they went to the FBI and said, hey, by the way, these guys are being investigated by foreign sources as though they're in cahoots with Donald Trump and Russian agents and so forth. And that led to the FBI being able to investigate Donald Trump. And that led to the Democrats saying that the FBI is investigating Donald Trump as a Russian agent. It was all a setup using foreign countries. 1. 2, guess what? The Russians did not fear Hillary Rodham Pea Stinky Fart Cabbage becoming president. It was a relationship they were much more comfortable with than with Donald Trump. Everything was a lie that the Russians feared Hillary. The Trump-Russia scandal made its formal launch in January 2017 when the Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, published what's called an Intelligence Community Assessment, an ICA. It's universally known in Washington, releasing of dominated headlines, fixed Donald Trump in the minds of millions of Americans as a Manchurian candidate controlled by Vladimir Putin, upending his incoming administration. The report declared that Russia and Putin interfered in the election to denigrate Hillary Rodham Pea Stinky Fart Cabbage and harm her electability thanks to their clear preference for President-elect Donald Trump. Brennan was at the CIA. All that stuff was a lie. It was exactly the opposite. And it allowed them to help set up Donald Trump in the eyes of most Americans as some kind of a secret Russian stooge or plant or agent. And that's 2 examples of using foreign sources and fake evidence by the CIA, the Director of National Intelligence, and the Federal Gestapo of Investigation against our own country and against a sitting president, and it allowed them to wiretap American citizens. Remember the case of Papadopoulos, that guy who was just talking in a bar? His life was ruined. Trump supporter, because of this. And again, that's a story on Substack, and no one's reporting it. We are. Substack and we, and that's it. A scandal like that's so much worse than anything this country's ever gone through. Teapot Dome, please, you're killing me. Fear. The New York, all those scandals in New York City. Please. Watergate, please. That's nothing. 4:45. Coming back, President Stupid. Wait till you hear this. He's done it again. Also, some sad news about Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys and an actress who tried to help the cause of cancer information, and boy, did that backfire. It's 4:45. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder here at 106.3.
Time for the Boortz Report, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, the Southeast premier home exterior solution. Quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years. Visit southernexteriors.co.
So now we've learned that Vladimir Putin wants to put nuclear weapons in space, but our stalwart leaders in Washington are saying, oh, it's only for the purpose of destroying other satellites. Now, you might believe that, but I'm a little skeptical. What if the purpose is to put an EMP weapon in space that could be deployed over the United States in the event of hostilities? EMP? What does that stand for? Electromagnetic pulse. Sound harmless? Well, first of all, what would an EMP weapon do to a human? Nothing. No effect on a living human being. Well, I mean his effect on the body. Okay, so what would happen if Putin deployed an EMP weapon over the United States? It would take our power grid down for months, maybe even for years. The EMP weapon would fry all of your electronics instantly. Your iPhone, your iPad, your car, pretty much anything with electrical components would be toast. No power, no lights. Your car won't run. No communications. The only things that would run would be vehicles, some airplanes without an electrical system like the old Piper Cub. Can you imagine if everything in your house goes dark and in your city, your community, maybe for years? It's all set forth beautifully in a book by somebody named William Fortune, Fortschen, called 1 Second After. I highly recommend that book. Download it, go check it out of the library. 1 second after. What happens to this country 1 second after Putin deploys his EMP weapon. Now, you go ahead and believe he would never do that. Neil Boortz, Extra 106.3.
Is this the year you want to grow your business? Do you want to expand your team? Build a new office? Hey, it's Tug, and I want to tell you about First Liberty Building and Loan. Are you exhausted by going to lenders, building a relationship, and a week later, you're dealing with a new person? You won't have to with First Liberty Building and Loan. The Frost family has been helping businesses grow since the 90s, and they can help you too. They know the patterns, they know the ebbs and flows, and they know business. Now the Frost family wants to know you. FirstLibertyGA.com. Buying a building, building a building, buying a franchise, or expanding. Reach out and spend 10 minutes with them. See if you're a fit for them and if they're a fit for you. FirstLibertyGA.com. By the way, if you're a young banker and you want to work with a team that's faith-friendly with a culture of excellence, First Liberty might be a good match. Reach out to First Liberty Building and Loan at FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
Hey neighbors, Sandra from Atlanta Painting Company here. With winter in full swing, there's no better time for a full interior makeover. Through February, save 10% on all interior projects of 3 rooms or more and get a free color consultation. Ready to get started? Visit us online at atlantapaintingcompany.com or give us a call at 1-800-PAINTING to schedule your free home consultation today. Again, give us a call at 1-800-PAINTING to schedule your free home consultation today. The Atlanta Painting Company, the painters you can trust.
A new Braves season is around the corner, and tickets are on sale. The Braves home schedule is jam-packed with great matchups, including the Texas Rangers in April, Red Sox in May, and Phillies in July. Plus, you better get your tickets now for when Shohei and the Dodgers head to Truist Park in September. 2024 will also be more amazing gate giveaways, like the Ronald Acuna Jr. bobblehead trio commemorating his record-breaking season. Replica chain giveaways featuring Michael Harris II and Orlando Arcia, a City Connect replica jersey, and the list goes on. Visit Braves.com/promos to see all of the amazing giveaways throughout the season and purchase your tickets. And fan favorite specialty ticket packages are back in 2024, including the Military Appreciation, Father's Day Catch on the Field, Star Wars, and more. Visit Braves.com/packages to see these special packages and the exclusive items that come along with your game ticket. Atlanta Braves baseball for the A.
My name is Amy Risley. I have been working for Bruce Hagen for 17 years. When I first started, my boys were 4 and 6, and whenever I needed, Bruce allowed me to bring them to our office. Bruce has always treated us like family, and 17 years later, I still love coming to work for Bruce Hagen. The best part of my job is when I get to put a settlement check in the hands of someone Bruce won a case for and see it change their life. I'm Amy Risley, and I work for Bruce Hagen. Let Bruce Hagen work for you. Hagen-law.com.
Aches and pains are just part of getting older. You know it and I know it, but that doesn't mean you have to just accept it. That's why I want to tell you the story about Nancy from Texas and her Relief Factor story. For years, she took care of horses and gave riding lessons. She started getting older and Nancy began feeling the effects, so she decided to give Relief Factor a try. It didn't work overnight, but it did work. These days, she says, I have more stamina because I don't hurt. With Relief Factor, she can keep going and doing more. I can relate, as I used to have terrible aches and pains in my hands. It was to the point that I didn't even want to get out of bed in the morning. But ever since starting Relief Factor, I've got my life back. If you're living with aches and pains, see how Relief Factor, a daily drug-free supplement, can help you feel and live a better life every day. To get started, try Relief Factor, their 3-week quick start kit. It's $19.95, comes with a feel better or your money back guarantee. Visit relieffactor.com or call 800-4-RELIEF. That's 800-4-RELIEF.
I hate what they did to that musical electronic thing when she goes, coming up. There's a Cher. Yeah, I guess it's coming up later. It's a Cher. 1975, Cher started her own weekly hour musical comedy show on CBS. Used to co-do it with Sonny and Cher with her former husband. Now her new show featured a female every week. Yeah, that's it. Where they put some Yeah, and what the hell? What is that? I mean, come on.
I don't know. It was a thing for a while because other pop stars did it. Justin Bieber did it.
It's like when they
thing for a minute.
All the rap stars do it.
Yeah,
because their voice sucks.
Well, I don't like it. Anyway, I wonder if she could still do her Gypsies Thin Thieves song again these days.
Gypsy tramps.
Yeah, you can't even say gypsy, let alone tramp. Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, how's it going? 453. Let's see, a couple updates on things coming up here shortly. In fact, my stinking iPad just goes dark again every time I try to. Okay, sorry. Our birthday list includes somebody I don't have in front of me. On this day in history is some sad news. On this day, 2013, Angelina Jolie had a preventative double mastectomy after learning she genetically had a very high risk of breast cancer, so she had them taken off. And God bless her, tough decision there. 4 o'clock hour, it's 4:54. Sponsored by our buddies at Atlanta Safe House. You need a safe, you may not know it. Put your Social Security card in there and stuff you want to save. Protect your assets. They have a showroom in Ackworth. Check them out, atlantasafehouse.com. Now, let's see, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. President Stupid Face has done it again. Yeah, another mental episode as he starts rambling about Donald Trump and Russia. It sounded like he was ready to fall asleep. He had what appeared to be a mental lapse as he took to the microphone. And again, this is a guy, just like he did when he did the fake Bo that they brought up his dead son Bo in his interview. They didn't bring it up. He brought it up. But he was realizing he made such a fool of himself the night before. I mean, when they released the report that he got to the microphone and he wanted the people to feel sorry for him, so he pretended that they tried to shame him by talking about his dead son. It never happened. He's the one who brought up the dead son. The guy never asked him about it. The guy never said, what year did your son die? Never happened. So Biden, in his own mental mess of a head, said, you know what, I think I'll get people to feel sorry for me by complaining that they brought it up to make me feel bad. I mean, it was all in it. He made it up. It's like this whole crap with corn pop and everything else he's ever said. This is unfreaking believable.
He was a bad dude.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. Come out with that chain, corn pop. I'll take your head off. And again, I will challenge the President of the United States, Joe Biden, to a fight. Just man on man, just him and me. No weapons. Bare-fisted. We'll wear a T-shirt and running shorts, and that's it. A man on man, one-on-one fight until one of us says, mommy, mommy, mommy. After he wakes up, he can say it, and I'll let him until he wakes up. I wouldn't do anything until he comes to. But I'm challenging him to a fight. Fist fight, kick fight, whatever you want to call it, anything you want. Man on man, and that's it. Fair fight. No disadvantages. Hell, I made him. I've had cancer and a heart attack. I'm almost his age. I'm wearing a damn pacemaker. We'll put it on you. Put it on
thumb wrestle.
Yeah, I'll do a thumb wrestle, arm wrestle, or a kickbox, or anything he wants. And by the way, so he's at the podium. Check this out. He in his head, he must have thought, it'll backfire. First of all, let's play it. And this is unedited. This is what happened. And then I'll explain what I think he was doing in his own mind afterwards. Flounder?
All of us should reject the dangerous statements made by the previous president that invited Russia to invade our NATO allies if they weren't paying up. He said if an ally did not pay their dues, he'd encourage Russia to, quote, do whatever the hell they want.
Where am I?
I guess I should clear my mind here a little bit and not say what I'm really thinking. But
okay. He obviously was trying to play tough guy again. And remember, whenever he gets caught on something, he starts yelling. And, you know, how dare they bring up my dead son? Okay, it was all in his head. But when he gets upset, he starts yelling. And what he did here, he was trying to play the tough guy by saying, I'm so angry. I'm afraid of what I'm going to say. So I'll pause here for the dramatic effect. But he paused too long. It made it look like he fell asleep. I mean, look, what was he doing? My God, if that's not more evidence. Again, in his mind, he was making up a scenario. And I guarantee you, he said, I said, boy, if I'd, like 2 seconds would have done it, 3 seconds might have done it, but he just, he didn't know what he was doing. He overdid it because he doesn't know any better. He's not conscious of actually what he's doing. Oh my God. I mean, oh, by the way, Pete just found this on I guess, on Twitter or X. This is hysterical. It's 4:58. If you look this up, it says, this is what the hell was the headline of it? Oh, crap, now I can't find it. Hold on. Oh, this is what happens when you show up a year late to a disaster. And it's the video of President Stupidface showing up in Palestine, Ohio after the train wreck more than a year ago. And he finally shows up, and all you see is all the signs saying, MAGA country, go home, we hate you, don't sniff me, keep moving. I'm trying to read another kind of small print. Resident not, what the hell? Oh, resident not president. Let's see, there's a whole bunch of signs, people yelling and screaming at him in MAGA country, because he showed up, a year late. And there are all these signs, don't sniff me. I was just hysterical. I mean, everything he does is for the wrong reasons and the wrong way, and it just makes it worse. His staff must be going nuts. Why now? Why in the world? And of course, the podium princess, Shirley Temple, actually said, it was either yesterday or last night, might have been this morning, and she said, well, it's because we care about what's happening, and this is the perfect time to see how we can help them continue to improve their, and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, maybe he'll take the publicity off of something else, where he's going to show how he can help the people. Oh, my God. Holy crap, and sports is coming up. 5 o'clock with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. Look out.
The Kimmer Show is back every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. only on WFOM Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. Extra 106.3 FM.
This is a Fox News alert, a ruling against the former president, Lisa Brady. The defense calls it injustice. A New York State Supreme Court judge finding former President Trump liable in a civil fraud trial over his businesses.
Judge Arthur Engoron imposing a nearly $364 million fine on the former president, his sons Donald Jr. and Eric. The judge said that they engaged in a years-long scheme to do banks and others with false financial statements. The former president is now barred from doing business in New York State for 3 years. The Trump companies must be run under a monitor, and that means they would be removed or are to be removed from the control of the Trump family.
Fox's Eric Shawn. State Attorney General Letitia James calls it a massive victory, just posting that the former president wrote about the art of the deal but mastered the art of the steal. The judge writing the frauds found in the case leap off the page and shock the conscience. Former President Trump calls the decision a sham, the judge crooked, and the Attorney General corrupt, adding that the country is under assault by partisan judges and prosecutors. His attorneys will appeal and say they trust the appellate division will correct what they call catastrophic errors by a trial court untethered to law or to reality. President Biden says President Putin is responsible for the death of imprisoned opposition leader Alexei Navalny, but he stops short of calling it an assassination.
We don't know exactly what happened, but there is no doubt that the death of Navalny was a consequence of something that Putin and his thugs did.
The president urging Congress again to pass more aid for Ukraine to defend itself itself against Russia. The White House and the UN Secretary General calling for an investigation of Navalny's death. Prison officials reportedly claiming he collapsed after a walk. The president calls his death more proof of Putin's brutality. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you still on the fence about owning gold? It's time to pull the trigger with the Oxford Gold Group and buy gold and silver. Nobody can predict the future, but we can't put our head in the sand either. The Oxford Gold Group are the pros. They make owning gold and silver simple and easy to understand. Call Oxford Gold Group right now and you may qualify for up to $10,000 in free precious metals. Call 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD.
Jessica, this is the happiest day of my life. Right up there with the day I bought my RV and insured it with Progressive. Man, I love that thing. There are a million fish in the sea, which I'm reminded of every time I bring my RV to the lake, but I vow to love and cherish you just as much as I cherish campsites with full electric and water hookups. I'm so sorry.
Protect your beloved with an RV policy from Progressive. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a blank. Ready on your dog. Target. Road guards out. Stand by and look out. It's only me. Lock and load. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder 503 on 106.3. Happy freaking Friday. Good to have you aboard. Here's a phone number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. And we got all the top news stuff. We'll get to that. Holy crap, it's sports coming up shortly. And Flounder's Funnies and the latest on the news. Just a quick update on a couple of things. The star witness in the Fani Black Mamba trial going on now. She didn't take the stand again. I was very disappointed. I was looking forward to having a whole another afternoon of watching her take the stand. Oh, my God. I mean, and the reaction. Last night when I got home, the world is looking at Atlanta, Georgia, and this woman.
This is how the New York Times described it. The defense lawyers will likely crowd again today onto one side of the packed courtroom. They are, in aggregate, a sea of boxy wool suits and white male faces. With Ms. Merchant, a white woman, a stark exception. The contrast with Ms. Willis in glowing magenta could not be more glaring.
By the way, she had her dress on backwards. I swear, they're denying it was a different dress. I think she had it on backwards.
Who among us?
Well, she was probably just dressing very quickly. Maybe she had a meeting with Play Daddy. I'm sorry, Mr. Wade and the Black Mamba with Play Daddy. I think that was a little the Black Mamba. Oh my God! So maybe she just had to dress a little more quickly than normal. And what?
Cheryl Atkinson says it's going to be interesting to see whether at trial the judge allows Trump and Giuliani to approach the stand without being invited, repeatedly call prosecutors liars, make long statements about things not asked, and direct their own questioning.
Yeah, like she did on the stand. I mean, I can't imagine. And that judge kept warning her, but he was. I mean, I think he's very well respected, but I also think he's fairly new. If I'm not mistaken, he's a new young judge. Yeah, and I think he was probably. Plus, she is the district attorney, so he probably wanted to make sure that he put her in her place, but he didn't want to also ruin any possible. She's going to be in every court case. The DA's involved in stuff in Fulton County, so.
The best description comes from John Davidson. He says, Fani Willis is basically our entire ruling class. Corrupt, stupid, entitled, power-hungry, and contemptuous of anyone who questions them. You can't have a republic with a ruling class like this.
Yeah. And again, when she's a very loyal boss. She complained she's a very loyal boss. When she hired Play Daddy, she blew him away with her professionalism and her perspicacity, her unselfishness. The staff always comes first. She makes sure that she is not some big dictator. She's very, very careful in how she doles out responsibilities. Oh, of course, she paid him $100 more than anybody else an hour, but that was, that's because, length and girth. That's extra. That's special. And by the way, the star witness for this afternoon's testimony in the case is a lawyer named Terrence Bradley, who was under questioning today, and then he said that he was accused of sexual assault by somebody at the law firm where he was a partner, along with Play Daddy Nathan Wade. So in questioning by the state attorney, Bradley admitted this, the other lawyer admitted, that a large reason he left the firm was because an employee of the firm accused him of sexual assault, which he denied. He admitted that he paid the employee who accused him. It's a key testimony angle because earlier he testified the reason he left the firm was related to Wade's divorce proceedings. So they're saying, well, now, wait a minute, what's what here? So the judge is now going to have him in camera, which means he's going to interview him in the chambers. Earlier, Bradley refused to answer what he knew about Wade and Play Daddy and Black Mamba's romantic relationship. He refused to answer because of citing attorney-client privilege. But earlier, he had said, no, they were fooling around long before she hired him in 2022. They were goofing around like in 2019 or 2020. And so the judge is going to be talking to him privately, apparently now. But anyway, so here we go. This is unfreaking believable. And the testimony yesterday, God, I was so hoping to be able to listen to it again today. If you haven't heard it, look for the sound bites, Google it. I mean, it's talked about emasculating a black. First she tells the world that Play Daddy had prostate cancer, and so he couldn't use his wang for a while. But she said, I don't want to emasculate a black man. Well, you kind of just did. She said, well, if he couldn't make love for a while, then obviously we weren't having an affair. So, yeah, I mean, I can think of like 4 or 5 other things automatically. We still can have an affair. I mean, come on, you're killing me.
Jason Whitlock said she was testifying for the beauty parlor, not the court.
Yeah, for MSNBC. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, just unbelievable. And again, this is she talked about the cash. Now, I don't. And her daddy got on the stand today. In fact, Flounder, we got a couple of sound bites. Let's play Daddy's sound bites here. He's coming to the back when you get up there. Her daddy testified. And by the way, her daddy, used to be a member of the Black Panthers. Which is fine. I mean, I'm that's just the truth. That's the way it is. He was a member of the Black Panthers, and they moved to California, and on and on and on. Anyway, he testified about certain things that black people do, which should not come as much of a surprise.
Savings of cash.
Oh, no, see, maybe, excuse me, and Your Honor, I'm not trying to be racist, okay? But it's a black thing, okay? You know, I was trained, and most black folks, they hide cash, so.
Yeah, they hide cash. I mean, and she now here's again. If I had been the attorney when she was under oath testifying that she paid for her half of stuff, and her boyfriend Play Daddy had already testified that she paid him in cash. So what the lawyer should have said was, "Oh, she paid you in cash." Well, did she pay you in cash while you were on the trip when you saw the bill? And then you'd have to answer specifically how it was done, setting up a trap for when he testifies maybe about another way of doing it. Or did she pay you when you got home? Or did you go to the bank together? Or, try to get specifically exactly how that transaction worked so you can therefore set up to see exactly what was going on. But I find it hard to believe that she also admitted that she commingled her campaign funds she had left over with her personal cash. And so she had, what she said, like $9,000 or $10,000 in cash at her house. You're not supposed to do that either.
Yeah, she took the loans out or something. She got money for her campaign, and she said she kept some of that cash.
Right.
That's totally illegal.
Yeah, it's against the law. And by the way, if you were concerned about how it would look that you were using his money or your money that you paid him to go on vacations, wouldn't you keep a record of your repaying the payment with a check or a thing to prove that in case anybody said, now they're asking, hey, you gave him money to pay for your trips, and she could have said, oh, no, here's my credit card. It shows you I paid half my way the whole time. Boom, it's over. They didn't have a case.
She doesn't think this would ever have gotten this far. She never thought that anyone would look into this.
What a scandal. I mean, what a freaking scandal. Honest to God. It's just outrageous. Quick update on a couple of things. The Kansas City shooting. Two young black kids, teenagers. They're so young they won't give you their names. And they're held on gun charges and resisting arrest. They have not charged them with attempted murder yet. I hope the hell they do. Attempted crowd mass murder, I hope. And let's find out more about these people. They have daddy at home? Raised by mommy, were they? Grandma? Nobody? Cell phones? Gangbangers? Come on. If this had been, if these guys, two white blonde-haired prep school kids wearing MAGA hats, people over the country would be outside the freaking Justice Department in Kansas City wondering what the hell's going on to America, and let's get their guns. Well, we all know that. 512. A quick update of sort of sad news here about Brian Wilson, the Beach Boys co-founder. He now has 2 family representatives serving as his co-conservators because Brian Wilson, at age 81, is too far gone with mental problems, dementia, senility. They're not quite sure, but they say he cannot take care of himself. We want to ensure there were no extreme changes to the household. Brian and the kids living at home will take care of him in the home where he's cared for. Brian will be able to enjoy all his family and friends, continue to work on projects, and participate anything he wants to do. He's suffering from a major neurocognitive disorder such as dementia and cannot provide properly for his own personal needs. So Brian Wilson has caregivers, his family, at the age of 81. And best of luck. Coming up, the Bollywood actress and all this scandal stuff, and Romeo and Juliet actresses suing over the nude scene 50 years ago. But first, holy crap, it's Sports Next, 513, Kevin, Pete, and Flounder.
Start your day the right way with Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra.
Rhino, born and raised up in New York.
Yeah, born in Queens.
And is a new son of the South. He was tired of paying them taxes.
Tired of it.
Tired of the nonsense.
Can't drink a big gulp. I want 64 ounces of soda and I want to get fat, so be it.
That's
Give
right.
me all that sugar.
Let me be. The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. every weekday morning on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Hey, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer, 514. Pete's coming up next. Have you got your safe yet? Have you gone to Atlanta Safe House yet? Well, they have a showroom up in Acworth. Atlanta Safe House. I love these guys, Jeff and Mark. And again, I love the fact that when they deliver a safe to your place, they only use off-duty police, firefighters, military to give them a little second income a little bit and help them out for all the work they do for all of us. Atlanta Safe House. On the web, atlantasafehouse.com. Check out what they have for you. Always sales, holy cow. I bought 2 gun safes from those guys. And again, when they delivered, if you want, they can bolt it from the inside of the safe into your concrete floor of your garage or basement or anything you're looking for. And it's not just the great big gun safes. They have vault doors, for that matter, jewelry safes and high security safes to keep your valuables locked up, protecting your assets. Unlike the Kimmer, when my medical records disappeared down in Florida because I didn't have my Atlanta Safe House safe like an idiot, and now I'm not getting benefits I was due. But it's my fault. I'm not, I'm an idiot. And I lost my Social Security card one time years ago, too. Try getting that replaced. Keep your Social Security card in your safe, not your wallet. And your pistol. When your pistol, you don't go into some place with it, put it in the car, lock it up in the car. Just, that way it's doubly safe. And the same thing at home. Make your wife and kids or the husband and kids feel better, too. Please tell them the Kimmer sent you that you got what you're looking for, including a family storm shelter. I'm not making that up. Look them up on the web. If you can't get to the showroom in Acworth, they will take care of you. You'll love what they can offer to you, the safety and locking up your assets. AtlantaSafeHouse.com.
What is spacious, has a versatile cabin, offers an intuitive voice assistant, and luxurious accommodations for up to 7? Meet the 2024 Mercedes-Benz GLE 350 4MATIC SUV. The advanced GLE SUV leaps further ahead with turbo hybrid power, fresh styling, and even more intuitive technology. Experience the 2024 GLE 350 4MATIC SUV. Lease one today for just $899 per month for 36 months with 6413 due at signing, exclusively from RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs. Special lease rate available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Service through RBM of Atlanta, Sandy Springs through February 29th, 2024. Excludes tax, tag, title, and Georgia Lemon law fees. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details.
Hey, homeowners. owners, Tug here with some exciting news. Southern Exteriors is your one-stop solution for top-notch exterior services, from roofing to siding, windows, gutters, and more. No more waiting. They can start on your project immediately. And with an in-house warranty division, Southern Exteriors stands by their work for years to come. From leaky roofs to faded siding, trust Southern Exteriors for a quick and lasting transformation. Don't wait. Transform your home today. Call 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co now. Southern Exteriors, quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years.
So, Robert, I want to thank you for your time. I just don't think you're the right person for this position.
I don't understand. Was it something I said?
Well, we did a background check on you and found some things of concern.
If you're in charge of hiring for your company, you know how helpful a background screening can be. That's why companies that use Horizon background screening make smarter hiring decisions. Don't let the wrong hire put your company at risk. Get the real story on your candidates at horizonscreening.com. horizonscreening.com.
Look out. Coming up, the dog breed most stolen, plus a Bollywood scandal. Olivia Hussey is suing the nude scene company, and the old lady and the pronouns all coming up. But first, holy crap, it's sports with P. Davis.
We got a couple semi-breaking stories here. Looks like the Phillies have added free agent infielder Whit Merrifield. Played a lot with Kansas City. Pretty good player. Played with the Blue Jays as well. 1 year, $8 million contract. So he could be a pain in the butt this year because he's a good little player.
Okay.
And Tiger Woods has withdrawn from the second round of the Genesis Invitational in L.A. 47-year-old Woods won over after 6 holes in the second round. He was 2 over for the tourney. Driven off the course with his head in his hands in a golf cart. Said he suffered from back spasms during round 1 yesterday. He had a shank, of all things, on 18 yesterday. It looks like the back's still giving him trouble.
Well, he's what he's gone through, I mean, good Lord. It's over.
Reigning National League East and most valuable player, Ronald Acuna Jr. He was actually MVP for the entire National League. He arrived in Northport, Florida today, worked out a little, took a little batting practice, and afterwards he was asked if he wants to stay in Atlanta. And Ronald says he wants to be a Brave for life. With club options, he's signed through 2028, so don't be surprised if a large extension could be on the horizon.
Excellent.
It's cheaper now than later.
Well, on the other hand, another 4 years, who knows? In 4 years, he's going to be, what, 32 or... No, 30. Well, how old? What is he? He's only 23 or 4.
He's about 26.
26.
He's about 26.
Yeah, he'll be in his 30s. And if you want to sign him now to a contract to take him into a 36 years old, might be a little risky. If you extend the 4 years.
You're insane. He'll be 30 years old. He'll be, if not in his prime, he's right there at his prime. Are you kidding me? Of course I'd sign him.
No, I agree with that. But I'm saying if you want to extend the contract past the 30-year-old thing and do another 5 years to make it 35 years old, I think that's a little risky.
Yeah. No, not for an outfielder, not a guy who can be a DH if something happens. No.
Well, there you go. That's why I'm not the general manager.
That's right.
That's right.
More for him in a second here. And remember, not too long ago, when baseball pundits could not decide who was better, Acuna or Juan Soto? About that. While Ronald may end his career as a Brave, Soto may be about to play for his 4th team. After beginning with the Nationals, then playing for the Padres, the Yankees traded for him, and now Yanks GM Brian Cashman says he doesn't see them re-signing the slugger, and this is likely a 1-year rental. So Soto could be on his 4th team in 2 years before this year is out.
Wow.
So...
Mercy.
And President of Baseball Operations for the Braves, Alex Anthopoulos, is looking forward to the effect that veterans Chris Sale and Charlie Morton will have on the young pitching staff this season.
Excellent.
I think what he's going to do for all the young guys we have with him and Charlie Morton, it's hard to quantify, but I'm a big believer that when guys look back down the road, the impact that the Mortons will have had in their career and Sale will have in their career, the way they go about it, I think will be huge.
Boy,
Anthopoulos on the locker room yesterday with 680 The Fan.
I hope Sale is healthy. Man, I remember seeing him pitch with Boston, and he had that whipping, horrible, nasty, freaking left-handed, skank, hateful, slimy, vicious, murderous, devilish freaking delivery crap. So I hope the hell we got that guy, that version of Sale. I love to see that boy. He was a monster.
Yeah. Some ball players are not happy with the new uniforms being made by Fanatics, owned by Nike. Seems they no longer tailor them for individual players, which makes them a little uncomfortable in the groin for some of the guys. Others say the jerseys look and feel like replicas. The Players Union is getting involved. And look at a pitcher like Lance Lynn, who's a big old dude from Mississippi. He looks like he's 300 pounds. And then you look at Max Fried, who doesn't have an ounce of fat on him. And you're telling me they don't tailor their pants?
Yeah. Well, come on. I thought every club had. I thought every ball club had somebody to take ladies to take care of people to do the laundry and stuff. Anyway,
no, the Players Union is getting involved, so this is going to change.
Here we go.
Yeah. In today's episode of those dysfunctional Mets, we discover the New York Mets now have $10 million American dollars wrapped up in their backup catchers. They got like 4 of them. Yeah,
well,
it's unbelievable.
There you go.
And we now know a little more about the passing of Falcons great linebacker Fulton Kuykendall, who died yesterday morning at the age of 70 after a long battle with dementia. Passed away at a memory care facility up in Canton.
Oh, man.
His wife of 44 years told the AJC that his brain will be donated to Boston University as part of its study into traumatic brain injury among NFL players. The rest of his body will go to the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine for use in medical school studies, by the way.
Well, it's quite a donation, yeah.
Kuykendall once broke his arm while tackling a Bills running back you may have heard of. Any chance you know who the guy is?
O.J. Simpson, I'm guessing.
Yes, absolutely correct. Former Bears lineman Steve McMichael was voted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this week, and he celebrated by going into intensive care for a urinary tract infection.
Steve McMahon, the one who stuck the pin in his bare chest. I was interviewing him in the locker room. Oh, my God.
Probably where he got the infection from.
He probably got it from
right
there. Couldn't believe it.
CBS made $700 million from commercial sales during the Super Bowl. Because it went into overtime, the Tiffany Network earned an extra $60 million in overtime.
Why would they get money for more commercials?
Because they run the more.
So the companies
again.
So obviously the contract is if it's overtime and we play your commercial, you got to pay us more money. Well, good for them.
Yeah,
I bet they're all happy.
Who isn't?
Yeah,
I'm happy.
Absolutely.
I know you're up. At Long Island University up in New York, the Fairleigh Dickinson team was stuck in an elevator and had to be rescued by the fire department. Tip-off delayed, but the Knights overcame their up-and-down start.
Yes.
Get it up and down. By nipping LIU by 2 points. So I guess you could say the outcome hung in the balance.
Balance. Well, I hope nobody was farting in the elevator because that would be wrong on so many levels.
Okay. U.S. women's national team captain Lindsey Horan.
Oh, sorry.
I saw that coming from a mile.
Yes, you did.
Lindsey Horan is a captain of the women's soccer team. She's walking back comments she made, accusing you American soccer fans of basically being stupid. Horan kicked American fans for not knowing the game and lacking smarts, as if watching the American women lose the World Cup was that hard to comprehend. Big Outkick wrote that. It took a while for Horan to realize insulting her fans was not a smart move.
Not that smart, no.
The NBA All-Star Game is in Indianapolis this Sunday, but you won't see Knickerbockers player Josh Hart there. He absolutely despises the city and the entire state of Indiana, saying outside of a White Castle fast food joint, there is no reason to go there, calling the entire Hoosier state a dump. Excuse me, you know you live and work in New York City, right?
Yeah, wow. Look around. Look at the news.
Pot, meat, kettle pot.
Well, I used to call Indianapolis Indian No Place. I was there for a couple of months one time many years ago.
Okay. I've driven past. Well, actually, we went there with the Falcons a couple of times. It's nice and clean downtown. I'll give them that. Why does Travis Kelce wear number 87, Kimmer?
Let's see. Well, now I'm trying to think of who might have been 87 when he was a kid. Wouldn't be Y.A. Tittle or it wouldn't be Del Schaffner. I don't know. I have no idea.
Who?
Del Schaffner.
Because he's Taylor Swift's 87th boyfriend.
Yeah, well, that explains everything.
By the way, no one knows who the hell that guy you just mentioned is. So anyway,
Del Schaffner, Y.A. Tittle.
Never heard of him.
Oh my God,
Y.A. Tittle, but no one's ever heard of Dolph Schnocker or whatever his name is.
Oh my God,
we are pulling him out of your behind
number 88. Y.A. Tittle's favorite.
Nobody remembers.
Oh my God, Del Schaffner. Sorry.
Guess how much the winning players got for the Super Bowl?
$22,000.
Higher.
A little higher. $200,000.
Lower.
$100,000. What?
164. 164
nice.
They got.
That's good.
The losers got 89,000.
Okay. All right. Day's work.
That's not a lot considering the billions.
It's nothing. I mean, that's pretty. I thought it was always higher. I thought that was like $500,000. Well, I guess not. I guess I'm wrong.
Baseball.
Yeah.
Baseball.
Maybe I'm thinking of that. Yeah. World Series.
Because they have something called a union.
Yeah.
So that works.
Yes, it does.
Here's the company that Patrick Mahomes has now joined. Only 7 men, Mahomes being one of them, have 3 championships and 2 MVPs in their first 7 seasons. I'll give you a hint. 2 of them played for the Celtics at different times. Can you name them?
Oh, you're talking about any sports?
Any sport.
Yeah. Can you name the people? Oh, my God. Well, Havlicek, Bob Cousy.
Nope.
Oh, God. Bill Russell.
Yes, Bill Russell was one, and the other one?
Oh, God. If it wasn't Bob Cousy.
Speaking of Indiana.
Larry Bird.
Indiana.
Larry Bird.
That's right, Indiana State.
Magic Johnson.
One NHL. No, we've already done the
We're
2
done.
players.
That's all right.
One NHL player, Guy Lafleur, the Canadians, but 3 baseball players have done it. And one was a Cardinal. Do you know the Cardinal? The guy you said played in the American League?
Stan Musial.
Yeah, he played in the American League.
Well, it's the old Cardinals.
The old Cardinals.
Yeah.
The Yankees. They have 2 Yankees that had that. Guess which one?
In the first 7 years, had MVP and World Series. Oh God!
They had 3 championships and 2 MVPs in their first 7 seasons. 2 Yankees did it.
Maybe Jeter, Derek Jeter.
No.
It's got to be a long time ago, right? Probably like Babe Ruth days. Oh, it's got to be Babe Ruth. No. Oh man. Well, then Ty Cobb. I mean, I just go down all the favorites.
Ty Cobb played for the Tigers in the Athletics.
The other guy, their famous one, Joe DiMaggio. Joe DiMaggio.
Yeah, DiMaggio.
Okay.
DiMaggio.
There you go.
And Mantle.
And Mickey Mantle. There you go. All right. Well, I was going to get to it.
Sure you were.
It takes a little while.
Ty Cobb.
I got more in there to get through.
In Mahomes' 6-year career as a starter, he has 6 AFC title games, 4 Super Bowl appearances, 3 Super Bowl titles, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, and 2 NFL MVPs.
That's really incredible.
He's pretty good. On this date, February 16th of 1953, Ted Williams safely crash-landed his damaged Panther jet and walked away getting the Air Medal. That was the key thing. He walked away from it.
Korean War.
1972, Wilt Chamberlain of the Lakers became the first player in NBA history to bed 30,000 women.
No, it was 30,000 points, Pete, in his career.
Sorry for the points. Well, same thing. He notched a point every time he did that.
And it was a game against the Suns. I even have this on my list, too. It's a game against the Suns. I'm sorry, 1972.
Good
yes,
for
sir.
It's all right. 2008, Kyle Kendrick went 10-4 as a rookie, stunned when he hears he's been traded to Japan for Takeru Kobayashi, the champion hot dog eater. The elaborate hoax included manager Charlie Manuel, the GM, fellow pitcher Brett Myers, and the media. It totally fooled the Phillies pitcher who thought he'd been traded to Japan for a hot dog eater. The hot dog guy. And 2013, after an appearance at a local festival, Guido's costume, worn by one of the Brewers' racing sausages, went missing. Later that night, a 7-foot Italian sausage impersonator was spotted at bars in Milwaukee signing autographs. I'm sorry, but if you're inside Guido the Italian sausage costume, you're no longer impersonating him. You are.
You're right.
Guido.
Leave him alone. Let him do what he wants. He's in there. Give the guy a break.
Guido.
Let him have a party for a weekend or something. Oh, my God. A couple of sports birthdays, Pete. Jerome Bettis, the bus, retired Pittsburgh Steelers running back, is 52. And John McEnroe, 65, married to Patti Smythe, the lead singer of Scandal. One of the few times this guy says he's ever seen him smile was when Lonely Island tapped him for the hilarious uncensored SNL digital short, I Just Had Sex. John McEnroe, 65 years old. Anyway,
my favorite tennis player.
He was fun to watch. You can't be serious.
It was on the line. The chalk rose up. It was on the line.
You're blind.
You're kidding me. You're killing me.
5:31 with a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder.
The legend Neil Boortz is only on Extra 106.3, Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station.
The best we can hope for in this election is to have, especially if Biden manages to win, is to make sure that the Republicans keep control of the House and get control of the Senate.
Boortz weighs in with commentary every day and is live with the Morning Extra on Tuesdays. Atlanta Talk Radio legends are only on Extra 106.3.
Job seekers, stop the endless job hunt. The Blue Collar Recruiter is your key to the career you deserve. Are you a skilled worker seeking the right opportunity? Look no further. We connect you with employers who appreciate your dedication and expertise. Technicians, electricians, plumbers, welders, and more. We've got it all, and opportunities are just waiting for you. So skip the frustration and let us guide you to your next job. Call the Blue Collar Recruiter, 678-916-6145, or visit thebluecollarrecruiter.com.
Neil Boortz here. Maybe you've already taken the steps to improve your health, maybe save your life. You're using a CPAP for your sleep apnea. I've been using one for well over 20 years. So right now I'm here to tell you about a source for CPAPs and CPAP supplies here in the Atlanta area. CPAPs, etc. They're in Alpharetta. They have whatever you need. Roddy and Sharon are your CPAP experts, and they'll ship nationwide. More information, CPAPs.com.
If it's time to buy a new car, what are you looking for? Price? Sure, that's easy. Anyone can offer you a good price, but not everyone cares about your community as much as we do. At Subaru of Gwinnett, there's a lot to love. You'll love our staff, our service department, the entire experience. Because at Subaru of Gwinnett, it's about way more than buying a car. It's investing in your community and loving the people you do it with. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event, come in for a test drive and find great offers on the 2024 Subaru Outback, or the model that best fits your lifestyle. And yes, we check a lot of boxes: safety, value, and of course, loving what you drive. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com and find the ride that best suits you. Learn about our incredible staff and find out how your next purchase will benefit your community. We promise you'll love it, because love is what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Subaru of Gwinnett, Satellite Boulevard in Duluth, and online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
At the Piedmont Bank, we're proud to be one of Georgia's largest community banks, focusing on serving businesses and the communities they serve. With headquarters right here in Metro Atlanta, our tailored banking expertise and solutions help meet the diverse needs of our customers so they have what it takes to grow, expand, and thrive. It's what elevates us above the rest. Find a location near you at Piedmont.bank and experience elevated banking for you and your business. The Piedmont Bank. Banking elevated. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Hey there, it's Janelle King, host of The Janelle King Show, right here on Extra 106.3 FM, where we are unafraid and unapologetic. We explore the topics that matter the most. You can catch us on Saturdays at 4 p.m. and encore episode on Sundays at 9 a.m. And catch up on past episodes by going to the podcast park right here at Extra 106.3 or wherever you get your podcast every single Tuesday. Until then, stay unafraid, stay unapologetic, and never stop seeking the truth.
Here we go. Look out. 5:35. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Da 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 da. A little Dylan here for you. I do not know this song, but 1974, Bob Dylan began a four-week run at number one with Planet Waves, his first U.S. number one, 1974. The album originally set to be titled Ceremonies of the Horseman, a reference to the song Love Minus Zero, No Limit, from the 1965 album, Bringing It All Back Home. When Bob Dylan decided to change the title at the last minute, the release was delayed for 2 weeks. But that's
this one's called "Tough Mama" from that album.
From that album. Again, I don't know. I really, I grew up with Bob. I'm his generation. We grew up, kids getting involved with Bob Dylan, and I don't know much of his music. I'm just. I should study more about it because he really was an important force. By the way, a couple of phone calls. Hold on, Steve and Brett, I think that is. Hold on, you guys, be right with you. Some sports leftover things here, Pete, that I was going to take from you. On this day in history in sports, 1970, Joe Frazier began his reign as undisputed heavyweight boxing champion by dispatching Jimmy Ellis in 5... what's the matter? What?
Say it right.
Dispatching Jimmy Ellis in 5 rounds, and then what? Oh, down goes Ellis.
Joe Frazier.
Down goes Jimmy Ellis in 5 rounds, and Frazier lost his title in January 73, the first loss of his entire career ever, to George Foreman. He lost his title to George Foreman. Also in sports on this day, 1992, the L.A. Lakers officially retired Magic Johnson's number 32. He was the 5th Laker to receive the honor, including Jerry West, 44, Elgin Baylor, 22, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 33, and Wilt Chamberlain, number 13, retired. And then since then, in 92, they've also retired number 8 and 24 for Kobe Bryant, 25 for Gail Goodrich, 34 for Shaq O'Neal, 42 for James Worthy, and 52 for Jamal Wilkes. So that's a lot of retired uniforms. On this day, 1997, hold on, guys, I promise I'll get right to you. Jeff Gordon, 1997, this is a big weekend now for racing. Jeff Gordon, on this day in 97, became the youngest winner of the Daytona 500. He was 25. Trevor Bayne claimed the title back in 2011. He was only 20. And this race is on Sunday. Any controversy, Pete? Is anybody claiming about anything or track conditions or new things or anything? I'm not really a big...
Bubba got into it with somebody a race or two ago, and he says, frankly, he deserved it the way he was acting. So it could be interesting to see if something's going on with him and another guy.
They do a little bumping and grinding 200 miles an hour. By the way, you mentioned a cost the other day of the NFL package, I believe, coming up. On this day in 1962... CBS bought the exclusive rights to college football from the NCAA. CBS college football rights to the games. How much is supposed to cost in 1962 for the whole thing, shebang with the college football? CBS.
$100,000.
$10 million. 10 million then. It's probably 500 million today or whatever it is.
Oh, it's a billion.
Yeah. Anyway, kind of weird. Okay, phone calls, 539. Let's get to Steve is first. Steve, welcome aboard. Happy Friday. How you doing?
Steve.
What's up, man?
Guys?
Yes, sir. We're doing great.
You guys were talking about a football player named Dale Shoffner, I think.
Del Shoffner. D-E-L. Del Shoffner.
Del Shoffner.
Yeah.
And I was kind of surprised that Pete didn't make a connection with that guy. He founded apparently an unsuccessful restaurant chain, and they even did an ad for it on Saturday Night Live. It was like, come on down to the Rabbit Hut. We're going to make you a rabbit nut at Dale Shoffner's Rabbit Hut. Anyway, surprised you guys didn't remember that.
Well, I'll be damned. It's kind of like old home week.
That you remember it is scary.
Yeah. See ya. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Steve. You have a great weekend yourself. Here's Brett's on the horn with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How you doing, Brett?
This is Natalie.
I'm sorry. I beg your pardon. It's Natalie. Even better. Hello, Natalie. How are you?
Close.
Hey, I'm so happy to talk to you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. Happy Friday. What's up?
Happy Friday to you. I've been wanting to call for so long, but I usually listen to the podcast.
Well,
so I never know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's true. We don't know what we're talking about either. You come to the right place, sweetie.
But I want to say,
Yes.
I talked to you. The last time I talked to you was about 20 years ago.
Yeah, I remember you were flirting with me. Boy, you were flirting. You were hitting on me. It was I remember that.
Yes. Yes, and I had just gotten engaged.
I have no standards. I'll hit an engaged woman here. What the hell? You're not married.
Morals, scruples.
You helped me with my ring. You actually called a jewelry store for me.
Yeah, Solomon Brothers, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yes. I wasn't sure if I could say that.
Oh, absolutely. They're a longtime sponsor. My good buddy, Solomon Brothers Jewelers. Love those guys. Absolutely.
And that is why I told my future husband, I was like, whenever we decide, you got to go to Solomon Brothers because Kimmer says it's the best.
Oh, be darned.
He did. And he got me a beautiful, beautiful ring. And it did not fit. It was too big. And I took it back and they told me I didn't get it there and they wouldn't help me. So I called you and you straightened it all out and I went in and they fixed it and they were so lovely.
They're great people. If there's ever a misunderstanding, they take care of it. Now, and by the way, I assume it's okay to mention, I assume you're still married to the gentleman?
Yes. Well, it'll be 20 years in October.
Thank God. I was going to say, no, the bastard left me at the altar. You know, I was hoping there was a good ending.
No, it's great. But you guys are just awesome. I'm so glad you're back on the radio. I look so forward to it. Like every day listening to your podcast and it's awesome. I'm not in Atlanta anymore, so I have to listen to the podcast.
Well, the app, 106.3 on the app is very handy. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Yeah. Well, now, are you guys retired? Are you everybody working in the business world these days? Or you seem pretty young, actually.
My husband still, he's in commercial real estate. We're in Dallas.
Oh,
wow. And, and we have a 12-year-old little girl.
Outstanding.
And
good for you.
She's awesome.
Excellent.
So I run her around. She does a bunch of sports and cheer and everything. So she's basically my boss.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Well, you're so sweet. True Kimmer babe. And I remember that very well. All my Kimmer babes who call and thank me for things, believe me, you go right to my heart. I'm happy, thrilled.
So and my daughter loves you too. I have her listen. I showed a picture of Chris Hemsworth to her and I said, this is the Kimmer.
Oh, the poor thing.
He was like, Mom, we have to listen to him every day. He is so good looking.
If you can't trick your kids once in a while, why have children? That's my motto. If you can't embarrass your kids, what the hell's the sense of having them?
Well, she loves you and she wears your T-shirts. We have a bunch of y'all's T-shirts.
Oh,
so
my God. You're so sweet. Well, thank you so much. Please keep in touch and let us know on Facebook or something, and if we can do anything for you, and we'd be thrilled. And hi to everybody. Hug for your family. Thanks, sweetie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Thanks, Nana. Thank you. Bye-bye. That's so sweet. That is. Honestly, that woman remembers something from 20 years ago. 20 years ago.
Unlike you.
Or probably more. Anyway,
real quick, we got Ghost Hunter Joel on.
Ghost Hunter Joel. Hey, Ghost Hunter. How's it going, my friend? What's going on?
Well, I hadn't heard you talk about Farmer Wants a Wife the episode last night.
I've got all my notes right here in front of me. They did the roping. They took care of the chickens. They cut some wood. And then, boy, is there stuff going. There's one troublemaker, that hot blonde, thinks she owns the world, and she's ticked off. She's already crying and tearing up and said that, the devil eyes are out, too. What did you think?
Well, the one good-looking chick, she started complaining about the brunette Joy smiling all the time. And I think that Joy, I'm with the blonde. I think the Joy chick is there just to be on TV.
Yeah, she's a troublemaker, I think.
and I forgot what I was going to say because as soon as you put me on, I was like, I blanked out.
Oh, I do that all the time. Well, I remember one of the things they're already starting to cry. One of the girls started crying because she said, "I just don't feel a connection yet." But and so she's crying because she hasn't gone far enough. Oh man, I don't know. And they went to the Clemson game, and then of course when he goes wandering off with one of them to be together to start kissing on the porch or something, the rest of them are going nuts and they're all ticked. Oh man, here we go. Farmer wants a wife, all right.
but the reason I started watching this show was last season. I work in Jefferson, Georgia, and there was a guy from Watkinsville, but his family they have a farm in Jefferson. And I was like, wait a minute, I know that place.
Oh,
so
no kidding.
I started watching it.
Oh, be darned.
And
cool.
and like I said, I forgot why the heck I was calling. But anyway,
You'll think of it. Call back when you think of it. As soon as you hang up, you're going to think of it. Call back, and because people now want to know what you were talking about.
All right, y'all have a good
All right, John. Ghost Hunter Joel right there. He'll be back. Boy, it's 5:46 already. Kira, Pete, and Flounder. We got another funny coming up. An update on Donald Trump blasting that clubhouse politician judge. Next with the Kira, Pete, and Flounder.
Stream Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, Glenn Beck, Fox News, and even NASCAR on Sundays. Anywhere on the Extra 106.3 app. Download the app now and get 24/7 access to the live stream, the latest news, and everything you need to know about Atlanta's only conservative talk station. Download the Extra 106.3 app for Apple or Android and check out even more great original content at thepodcastpark.com.
Hey, it's Lowe's for Exmark and Howard Brothers. Believe it or not, spring is right around the corner, and the folks at Howard Brothers are gearing up for it. If you need a mower in 2024, Howard Brothers and Exmark have it for you. Exmark mowers aren't just for green industry pros. There's an Exmark for all of us. The Quest, Radius, Laser, zero-turn mowers that will ensure that your yard work isn't hard work. Learn more at howardbrothers.com/Exmark. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Exmark and Howard Brothers.
Hey, Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House. And now, the security riddle of the day. What's less secure than a fake safe from a furniture or big box store? Joe Biden's fake border policy, of course. But hey, there is good news. This time next year, Joe Biden will not be president. So drop by Atlanta Safe House and check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast. Build a wall around your valuables with a safe from the Safe House. We have certified delivery crews to install your safe. With over 30 years in the safe business, the Safe House is the place to buy safe in Georgia. So go to atlantasafehouse.com.
Whether it's freezing or scorching heat outside, proper insulation is critical to make our homes comfortable and save on energy dollars. This is Jim Niarchos from the All Four Seasons Home Show. This Saturday morning at 9, our guest will be Ryan Zondervan from USA Insulation. What are the different types of insulation? When's the best to install it? How much is enough? USA Insulation on the All Four Seasons Home Show right here on Atlanta's only conservative news talk station, Extra 106.3.
It's a mad world out there, but one thing is certain, everyone is trying to market something. So tune in every Saturday at 3 p.m. to the Marketing Madmen, who, along with a variety of industry expert guests, can help you make sense of it all. Whether you own a business and want tips to scale, or are a fan of the finer things in life and want to know how restaurants, golf courses, and wine companies try to sell you stuff, the Marketing Madmen is your ultimate destination for all things marketing. Tune in right here on Extra 106.3 every Saturday at 3 p.m. or search online for more content. Join the madness with the Marketing Madmen.
Look out. Zeppelin! I'm going like a lead balloon, baby. 5:48. Look out. Yeah, it was 1972. Led Zeppelin made their Australian live debut with a 6-date tour at the Subiaco Oval, Perth. Police battled with over 500 fans who rammed locked gates trying to get into the concert. 4,000 fans stood outside the venue with no tickets, and local residents jammed police phone lines to complain about all that noise. It's Led Zeppelin. Well, it was in the 70s. Who knew anything about anything? Our birthday list includes LeVar Burton, 67. Geordie LaForge or somebody on Star Trek The Next Generation, but we know him, of course, as Kunta Kinte on Roots, and he was PBS's Toby. I made him Toby. And PBS's Reading Rainbow. LeVar Burton, 67 years old today. And Pete, I had a leftover a sports thing. I guess I threw it away. Tenley something or other was the first female winner of the America's figure skating thing back when she was 17 years old, back in 1952 or something.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's totally fascinating. The National Deaf Mute College was founded on this day in Washington, 1857.
What?
The first school, repeating tonight's time. The first school in the world for advanced education of the deaf, later renamed Gallaudet College.
Gallaudet.
And let's see. Oh, God, who can forget this? The crematorium scandal in Nobel, Georgia, 2002. Video of corpses, some of them in sitting positions and laying down. They were sideways, stacked in the backyard, in the woods, in sheds. All the corpses at the crematorium that were not crematoried. The family didn't spend the money to fire up the crematorium, and they just threw them in the backyard and then stacked them anywhere. And I'll never forget the video. That's one of the most disgusting things I ever saw in my life.
They just had it happen in Colorado where this nature thing, where the bodies would go back to nature.
Yeah.
They just left them in the warehouse.
Yeah, that's not really bad. I don't think that. I'm not sure that was in the booklet. I think when you sign up for that, I think there's a rule or something. God. By the way, just in one of the updates on legal stories today, Donald Trump lost his case in court. The freaking judge fined him $350 million and said he and his company can't do business for several years in New York City. And President Trump blasted the, quote, clubhouse politician, Judge Arthur Engoron, as he was banned from operating his business in New York for 3 years, fined more than $350 million, defending his great company that he built, and said it's another example of Democrats trying to stop him. And he says they will not be successful. The ruling was after the months-long civil trial in October from the Attorney General of New York, Letitia James, that hateful racist, saying he inflated his assets and values to get a bank loan to pay off stuff, and then because they were inflated values, she said, and the judge agreed with her, therefore he was guilty of fraud, even though the bank got their money back. It was a loan. The bank said, well, okay, you say it's worth $500 million in Mar-a-Lago? Fine, we'll give you the money for the loan. He got the money back. No one ever got cheated out of anything. Nothing ever happened. It was no crime committed. Nobody lost anything. Nobody suffered anything of any kind. And Donald Trump has now been banned from running his own businesses for 3 years. His son's banned also for at least 2 years, and he has to pay a fine of more than $350 million for a crime that didn't happen. He said the banks and insurance companies were thrilled. They made nothing but money. No defaults, no nothing at a time when many banks are losing money. It's a witch hunt where the judge ruled against me before he even saw the case. The judge strongly stated that Mar-a-Lago was worth $18 million when it was worth probably $300 million. In September, the judge ruled that Trump and his organization committed fraud, building a real estate empire by deceiving banks and insurers. Trump said the judge already been overturned on his case 4 times, a record. Anyway, so he's a political hack working in conjunction with a crooked attorney general, one of the greatest cases of election interference anyone has ever seen in this country, and he's absolutely right. Absolutely. He's going to appeal. This is absolutely disgraceful. And this judge, the whole Fani, oh my God, the Black Mamba, Fani, the Flusy of Fulton County, her daddy was on the stand. Should we play another daddy bite here, Flounder? I think we got one more back there. Let's do another of her daddy bites. He was on the stand today talking about raising his kid and black things and black issues and stuff like that.
I may be wrong, but I believe COVID hit in 2020, so I was asking about 2019. In 2019, did you spend any time in California?
Before COVID was even here in the United States, remember I lived in South Africa and I've traveled the world.
Whether he lived with his daughter.
I knew COVID was coming before. I knew COVID was around before. They may have announced it in 20, but in fact, I knew about it and I knew what was happening in 19.
Yeah, okay, so let's walk through 2019 then. You said you moved here in September. So
no, I didn't say that. I moved here probably prior to September.
Anyway, he also said, it's a black thing. It's not racist, Your Honor. It's a black thing to carry a lot of cash. That's why his daughter, Fani the Floozy, Black Mamba, had around those thousands of dollars in cash to refund, the hotel stays and the trips to the Bahamas and stuff. Oh, my God. Who are you kidding, by the way? Anyway, whatever. They're going to get away with it.
Hey, Daily Mail just has a headline here that we maybe talk about Monday. A dating expert says that any man who makes under $50,000 a year should never date because they don't have enough expendable cash to keep a lady happy.
I'll bet that's true. Print that up. Save that for Monday. And by the way, there's 2 other things. Let's do. I was going to do this because it's kind of an update thing. The dog breed most likely to be dog napped is the French Bulldog. We've been saying the last several dog nappings we've had. In fact, some very famous cases where the actress got the bodyguard or the dog walker for the famous actress got shot and stuff like that. Well, they're stealing these French bulldogs. Stealing French bulldogs, the theft of French bulldogs has gone up 140% recently, and these dogs cost up to $10,000. And they're not big; they're easy to steal, and they're friendly and happy basically. And they just grab them and put them in a coat and take them off. Anyway, the number one dog breed stolen is French bulldogs, just for the record. A couple of girly things, Pete. You mentioned the dating thing. Also, I want to get into this earlier. I heard the guys before us a couple days ago talking about dental hygienists and how have you ever had a male dental hygienist working on your teeth, cleaning your teeth and doing the stuff that they do, the dental hygiene? Ever had a man do it?
I have once.
I don't mean a doctor. I don't mean the dentist.
No, I'm talking about the guy who does the clean. I had one guy, and he was great, actually.
Oh, see, no guys for me. Girls only.
Okay, it's one thing if you're going to get a massage or something like that, but I mean, working on your teeth?
Having a...
Is it because you're almost sitting in his lap in a sense?
No, it's two things. It's because I want a girl, any girl who puts her fingers in my mouth is on the road to happiness. And secondly, you might get a little side boob. It's very, very likely that the girl hygienist, she's going to be leaning over let me get that toothbrush. Oh, and I think a lot of, and again, guys, if your wife is a dental hygienist, I'm not talking about her. But if my wife was a dental hygienist, I wouldn't let her be a dental hygienist because they're very famous about doing a little side boob when they go over to get the dental floss or something, or the that creamy stuff they put in your teeth or whatever. So they give you a little side. So and I want a girl doing it and not a guy. I would not want a guy clumbing around with his freaking hairy fingers in my mouth. It's bad enough when a dentist has to do it and take out stuff, but I want to only.
Yeah, you know they're wearing gloves, right?
I still don't care.
Gloves.
And the other issue that came up today also on the thing as well was paying on a date. And for some reason, this is becoming a thing now all over social media, and more women apparently are getting upset if I don't know. I've never allowed a girl to pay for anything on a date ever, not a nickel. And if I meet her there and she's somewhere else, I give her money to pay for her parking. I mean, if you're on a date, you're taking care of her. But there's a whole thing going on now, and some girls are getting offended. And now I think some of the liberal girls, we've talked about this before, want an old-fashioned man and really do want a guy who takes care of everything and takes care of them and have them feel like they're taken care of and pay for everything. But again, this is an issue about whether girls should be, and guys who go on a date, and then if the girl doesn't put out, then suddenly they're sending them a Venmo request for half the date charge or something. He was talking about that today. I couldn't believe it. The guy, she wouldn't put out, and he said, well, the state's, after he left, and he sent her a message, and he said, well, obviously we're not going to, this isn't going to work out. So he Venmoed her, says, I want, you owe me half the money for the date, for the dinner. Oh my God. Anyway, and again, this is an amazing story. Remember the actress Olivia Hussey? Olivia, is that a thing for you to do something here?
That's for next week.
Okay. I remember the actress Olivia Hussey in the movie Romeo and Juliet in 1968. Well, she and the guy she starred with are now suing the film company and Criterion Collections Agency and Paramount Pictures for the nude scene filmed more than 50 years ago. The problem was when they filmed it, it was kind of dulled. It was very poor quality. There was no real, you couldn't really see that very much of anything. All of a sudden now, these actors, Olivia Hussey and the guy are both in their 70s. And they say that the director had them appear naked in the movie with now the updates because the quality is coming out so much in the new digitally enhanced photographs, they look naked. They're in bed together, and it shows her top breasts naked, and she's saying for 50 years she's been offended by the fact that they misrepresented everything to her. And now Olivia Hussey from Romeo and Juliet in 1968 and the male actor with her, Leonard Whiting, are suing Paramount Company for a half a century of mental incarceration for the traumatic event of the nude scene, which has now been enhanced. Holy cow. Hey, God bless America. Thank you all. Have a great weekend. And hi to Miss Veronica there, Flounder, Pete Davis, and Kimmer. Well, I got to go. You're killing me. Coming up at 6 o'clock. Have a great weekend. And Christine, sing me home, baby, because I'm ready to rock and roll. Look out.
Start your day the right way with Tug, Rhino, and Los on the Morning Extra. Every morning from 6 to 10 a.m. on WFOM Marietta, Extra 106.3.
This is a Fox News alert. The verdict is in. I'm Lisa Lacera. A New York City judge has ruled against former President Donald Trump in his civil fraud case.
Former President Trump has been ordered to pay more than $350 million and is barred from running a business in New York State for 3 years. The judge stopped short of dissolving the former president's companies, but also banned the former president and the Trump Organization from applying for loans from any New York chartered banks for 3 years. The ruling also says that Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump are banned from serving as officer or director of any New York corporation for 2 years. The case was brought by New York Attorney General Letitia James, accusing the former president and his company of inflating his wealth on financial statements to make deals and secure loans.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers in New York City. Attorney General James speaking right now about the issue. Earlier, she posted on X, formerly Twitter, when powerful people cheat to get better loans, it comes at the expense of hardworking people. Former President Trump writing on his Truth Social website, the justice system in New York State and America as a whole is under assault by partisan, deluded, biased judges and prosecutors. He's also expected to speak this hour. A little over a year since the train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, that contaminated the air, water, and soil with dangerous chemicals, President Biden visited the city.
Let me be clear. While there are acts of God, this was an act of greed that was 100% preventable.
The president said railroad companies who are transporting toxic chemicals have a responsibility to do it safely. Earlier, the president said he was not surprised, but also outraged to learn of the death of Alexei Navalny, the harsh critic of Russian President Vladimir Putin at a Russian penal colony where he was serving a 19-year prison sentence. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Jesse Kelly. Are you still on the fence about owning gold? It's time to pull the trigger with the Oxford Gold Group and buy gold and silver. Nobody can predict the future, but we can't put our head in the sand either. The Oxford Gold Group are the pros. They make owning gold and silver simple and easy to understand. Call Oxford Gold Group right now and you may qualify for up to $10,000 in free precious metals. Call 833-995-GOLD. That's 833-995-GOLD.
To my newborn baby boy, the day you arrived was one of the happiest days of my life. Right up there with the day I bought my RV from that guy on the internet and insured it with Progressive. What a deal. Just know, son, I'll always be here for you. And by here, I mean in the middle of absolutely nowhere. In my RV.
Protect your baby with an RV policy from Progressive. Take as little as 4 minutes to see what you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Yes.
A warrant has been issued for a former Colorado funeral home operator after a disturbing find.
Police are looking for Miles Harford, who ran a funeral home in the Denver suburb of Littleton, Colorado. After he was evicted from a home he was renting earlier this month, a cleaning crew discovered the cremated remains of about 30 people. And in a hearse left on the property, the body of a woman who died in August of 2022. Her family said they'd been given what they thought were her cremated remains. Harford is likely to be charged with abuse of a corpse, theft, and forging a death certificate. The medical examiner is trying to learn who the other cremains are and return them to family members. Jack Callahan, Fox News.
Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry has declared a state of emergency due to shortages of police officers. The executive order lifts limits on how many new employees sheriffs in the state can hire and on payroll increases for their departments. Starbucks is about to make some positive changes for customers.
Starbucks is creating a more accessible store experience. It just completed a prototype new location in Washington, D.C. Company-owned stores in the U.S. will start adding the changes. It has power-operated doors, better acoustics to reduce background noise, an unobstructed path, better lighting, and accessible equipment designs. Customer order status boards will let you know when the order is in process and ready. Starbucks says it's in response to the needs of its customers. An estimated 1 in 4 adults in the U.S. has a disability. Ginny Cosola, Fox News.
Wholesale prices in the United States accelerated in January. The producer price index index, which tracks inflation before it reaches consumers, rose 0.3% from December to January, excluding volatile food and energy costs. Core wholesale prices rose 0.5%, the most since last July. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
I'm Chad Pergram with the Speaker's Lobby. Swatting is a problem for members of Congress. Swatting is when someone makes a fake report about an alarming situation with the goal of prompting a SWAT team and other significant law enforcement to respond to a certain location. At least 34 members of Congress have been the target of swatting incidents since Christmas, say the Capitol Police. The agency said it's working to track down those who made the calls, but there are limited options to stem the false reports, which can set up a potentially dangerous or even deadly situation. In response, the House Sergeant at Arms has recommended that members reach out to local law enforcement to share their home and district office locations and provide an emergency contact number that officers can use to validate emergency calls. GOP Georgia Congressman Eric Burleson and GOP Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene were swatted in December. Greene said that the first time she experienced swatting was in the summer of 2022. Police came to her home with guns drawn. She said she has been swatted 8 times at her home and that her family has been swatted 3 times. With the Speaker's Lobby, Chad Pergram, Fox News.
Jesse Kelly Show. Let's have some fun on a Friday and Ask Dr. Jesse Friday. It is going to be the best day ever, and not just because the weekend is basically here. You have conquered the week. Here's what we have on tap for tonight. The president apparently had a stroke mid-speech today. We'll talk about that. Why does the government at every level spend so much more than it takes in now? We'll talk about that. Is the GOP going to do us wrong in 2024? What's my thoughts on pre-tipping? If you're young, are you ever going to own a home? What are some debate tips? The $95 billion foreign aid bill. My goodness, we are all over the place tonight on the world-famous Jesse Kelly Show. Now, I am also aware of the news today. What the news has told you is the news of the day, I guess is what I should say. Remember, we talk about this a lot on the show. I always have to be mindful of this because I'm susceptible to it just like you are, right? We're all just flesh and blood human beings. I'm susceptible to chasing the laser pointer the media is pointing on the wall for me. The media will decide in any given day that this topic is the story of the day. And they'll all start ranting and raving about it. It's on CNN, the president's talking about it. It's on this channel, it's on that channel. Then talk radio starts getting in, and then all anyone can talk about. I'm aware today that Putin's opponent in Russia died in prison. He died in a penal colony. Vladimir Putin had his political opponent arrested, and he died in a penal colony. You know, you never... In countries like that, situations like that, you're never going to get straight answers. We can't get straight answers from our own government. You're certainly not going to get it from a hostile government. We now have a extremely hostile relationship with Russia. You're never going to know. Was he tortured? Probably. Starved to death? Who knows? Did they just flat out shoot him in the back of the head? I don't know. That kind of thing can happen in Russia. I don't know. But I do know this. I know that the people acting outraged about it today here, they're really not. They're not. Here's what everyone has to understand about the Russia-Putin thing that the American media is obsessed with. They will find something, and they've been great at this. I want to make sure I give the communists credit for it. They will find something detestable and they will attach it to you, and then they'll rant. Whenever they rant on one or two of those things, either it's you directly or that other thing, it allows them to attack you at all times, no matter what. The American communists in the media, the Democrat Party, education, whatnot, one of the ways they've done this so well is they've done white supremacy. They've attached that, mainly because of GOP weakness, they've attached that to the right wing. People will call Nazis right-wingers, hard right. What? The Nazis were a socialist party. What are you talking about? They'll call any form of white supremacy in America, well, right-wingers. They'll get candidate after candidate, president after president to denounce white supremacy. But you do denounce white supremacy, right? Hey, just to be clear, you don't like white supremacy, or what are they doing? They don't care whether you denounce it or not. They're associating something terrible with you, forcing you to talk about something awful, therefore attaching that thing to you. Then it allows them to get up and say, we've directed the FBI to attack white supremacy. The day before, they were calling you a white supremacist all day. The next day, they tell the FBI, go after white supremacists. What do you think they're doing? They've done the same thing very successfully with Russia and Vladimir Putin. I know this is not you, but your liberal Aunt Peggy, she genuinely believes that Donald Trump is a Russian asset, that he works with Vladimir Putin, that he was sitting down with the KGB, which she still thinks exists because she doesn't know any better, that he had some strategy sessions with the KGB to cheat Hillary Clinton out of an election. I know you're rolling your eyes. I know that's insane. She genuinely believes that because propaganda works. The American media found a bad guy, and they managed to attach that bad guy to Republicans, Democrats in the media. The system found the bad guy. They've attached that bad guy to Republicans. And what that gives them the freedom to do is what you see all over the place today. Attack Putin, and you are making a de facto attack on the right. Over and over and over again, you see that. And you've probably heard your liberal Aunt Peggy or someone in your life say this. Whenever you maybe question another $40 billion for Ukraine, where they're washing money and doing all kinds of black market things, if you even question it, what do they call you? What do they call you? Putin lover. Ah, figures. What are you, a Putin puppet? Probably work for Putin. Probably love Russia. It's a propaganda campaign. It's very effective. But just understand this. No Democrat, no media member today crying about this guy who got killed in Russia, which is terrible. I admit it. Locking up and killing your political opponent is friggin' awful. But nobody complaining about this today gives a crap about that guy. They're complaining about Putin and that guy's death because they understand every complaint about Putin, because of their propaganda efforts, is actually a complaint about Republicans or Trump or whatever you want to put it. So that's not the big story of the day. Something that is kind of big came out of it, though. President of the United States of America got up to speak about it today because, of course, he had to make a statement on it. And when this gets quiet, just understand I didn't pause it. And we didn't edit this. Chris, we didn't edit this, right? This is legit? This is unedited. This is the President of the United States today. Tell me this doesn't make you uncomfortable.
He said if an ally did not pay their dues, he'd encourage Russia to, quote, do whatever the hell they want. I guess I should clear my mind here a little bit and not say what I'm really thinking.
And I have to tell you, for radio, that was bad, right? It was cringeworthy. You're probably sitting there wincing, doing that, please say something, I'm uncomfortable thing. The video of it is so much worse than the audio, and I encourage you to seek it out. He looks gone. He does. I don't have a better way to put it. He looks gone. The rate of Joe Biden's deterioration is staggering, and it is going to be the wildest political year. And I want you to put a smile on your face because it's going to be crazy, and it'll be terrible and wonderful, and maybe all those things mixed into one, and it's going to be nuts. But this is going to be an insane political year that you will probably remember your entire life. We have Donald Trump on trial in pretty much every city in America. the current president of the United States of America, his brain is melting into a toxic stew every single day. Is he even going to make it to election day? Are they going to put Trump in prison? It's wild. Okay, speaking of the Trump thing, before we get to the Ask Dr. Jesse questions, for some reason, we did all that Fani Willis stuff yesterday. Fani Willis, the prosecutor in Georgia that's trying to put Trump in prison and how bad she looked. For some reason, they rolled out her father today to do some testimony stuff, and I'm not so sure that was the best call.
I may be wrong, but I believe COVID hit in 2020, so I was asking about 2019. In 2019, did you spend any time in California?
Before COVID was even here in the United States, remember I lived in South Africa and I've traveled the world. I knew COVID was coming before. I knew COVID was around before. They may have announced it in 20, but in fact, I knew about it and I knew what was happening in 19.
Okay. All right. So that happened. This also happened from her father today. It's wild. It's wild how deep lies can get ingrained in your psyche so that they just become part of who you are. Nobody believes this. You're telling me this happened in Atlanta, Georgia?
After she was sworn in on January 1 of 2021, and on or about the 3rd of February, probably 5:30 a.m. in the morning, there were people outside her house cursing and yelling and calling her the B word and the N word, and it was bizarre.
That's a completely made up story. Anyway, let's talk. Let's talk about, let's talk about me and changing my stance on things. Do I do that? Have I ever done that? Have you? Should you? Before we do that, one thing I love, one thing I admire about a company when they have a product, I love when they let you try it first before you go all in, because it shows confidence. It shows me you're not ripping people off. Relief Factor is a drug-free, all-natural thing you take daily, and it helps with the pains of life. Necks, backs, joints, muscles, right? It helps with the daily pains of life. You take it every day, uses your body's natural response to reduce inflammation. But they don't tell you, hey, just take our word for it. I promise it works. They sell 3-week kits, 3-week quick start kits for $19.95. They don't even charge a lot for it. $19.95. Call them, try it. They know it works. It is so nice to have relief from the little pains and aches that plague you. Just call them. Try a 3-week kit. 1-800-4-RELIEF or go to relieffactor.com.